Welcome to NBA Mexico City Game 2025, presented by Michelob Ultra.
It is one of the world's great cities, Mexico City. We are here tonight at Arena Ciudad de Mexico for the NBA Mexico City Game 2025. In Mexico City, a place not unfamiliar for the two teams tonight, the Detroit Pistons and the Dallas Mavericks. It's great to have you tuned in for the action tonight here in Mexico City. With the Hall of Famer Grant Hill, I'm Mark Followell. Really excited about this game. It's a great atmosphere here tonight, Grant, but it's going to be business time here in just a few minutes. And so for these two teams, obviously at this stage of the season, everyone wants to meet the expectations that various individuals have for their respective teams. Detroit's doing a better job of that, but both teams aren't exactly on the front foot right now, especially with regard to developing some identity on the offensive end of the floor.
Well, we know it's early, but it's been surprising how difficult managing those expectations has been. And you're right, Mark. It's been the offensive end, surprisingly. For Detroit, well, they get off to slow starts. They get in a hole, and their three-point shooting has not been up to where they were last year. And then for Dallas, the injuries and the interior, it's been a challenge. But this is an important game that both teams need to win to keep that momentum going.
It is an important game. There's going to be great atmosphere tonight, and let's find out more about that atmosphere with Ashley Shamady, who talked to players and coaches on both sides tonight.
Well, this trip is short but sweet, but what an incredible time here in Mexico City so far. The atmosphere, the people. I'm expecting such an electric atmosphere for this game tonight. I talked with some of the players as well. Dallas's Max Christie said he's never been here before, but he's loved the food specifically, which I can vouch for that. And then he just expects the fans to be so excited and the intensity to be an all-time high. J.B. Bickerstaff, Detroit head coach, said it is just such an honor to be able to play basketball internationally. This game has given him so much, and he's excited to bring it back to the fans.
Thanks, Ashley. We want everyone at home to experience what the global games are like, especially here at Mexico City Arena. So right now, let's have the anthems and the lineups that go to PA announcer Memo Shoots.
Mexico City Game 2025, presentado por Michelob Ultra. Hoy tendremos a los Mavericks de Dallas y los Detroit Pistons. Y esta es la alineación de los Dallas Mavericks. Un ala, egresado de la Universidad de Duke, 2 metros 5 centímetros, novato sensación, el número 32, Cooper Flag. Un guardia de Michigan State, 1.96 de estatura, el agente 00 de las canchas. Es ni más ni menos que el señor Max Christie. El señor de la pintura, el centro de Arkansas, 208. Él es el número 21, Daniel Gafford. El otro ala de Kentucky, 2 metros de estatura, el hijo pródigo tejano, el número 25, PJ Washington. Y el otro guardia de Washington State, 1.96, 4 veces campeón de la NBA, el número 31, Klay Thompson. El head coach de los Dallas Mavericks, la leyenda viviente Jason Kidd. Hagan ruido para sus Mavericks. Y ahora conozcamos a los Detroit Pistons.
it goes.
To play in the third. Crosses him over. Jaden Ivey to the basket. He's going back up and flushing it. Nasty. Right by Cade. Drive, jam. Brings the crowd to its feet.
Basketball fans, clap your hands and stomp your feet. Once again, time to meet and greet the ballers who represent the Detroit Pistons. First up, out of Michigan, 6'7" quick pop, roll to the rim, 55 Duncan Robinson. There's one-time Tennessee foul. The 12, y'all, set to shine. Game time for the 6'9", Tobias Harris. There's stop sign. Where's the Piston number 9? Meet from overtime elite, the 6'7", Asar Thompson. Da center, coming out of Memphis, wearing the numero 0 at 6'10". He's gonna work both rims. The dog, JD, Jalen Duran. Now, to the floor for you in the Detroit number 2, donning the red, blue, and white tonight from Oklahoma State. Make no mistake, this is the 6'6", Cade Cunningham. Head coach of your Detroit Pistons, JB Bickerstaff. All right, let's hear it for your Detroit Pistons.
Las alineaciones iniciales de esta noche son presentadas.
Time now to check in on the game spread provided by DraftKings Sportsbook. Tonight, the 3-2 Pistons are 7.5-point favorites over the 2-3 Dallas Mavericks as these two teams meet in Mexico City for the second time. They also played in 2019. DraftKings is the #1 sportsbook for live betting. To get in on the action, download the app and use promo code DUNK when you sign up.
And hopefully you guys can enjoy the game. So vamos Mavs.
En nombre de todo el equipo de los Dallas Mavericks, les agradece a ustedes por su energía, por su presencia y por ser grandes anfitriones. Fuerte de nuevo para Max Christie. Y ahora, desde Detroit Pistons, el líder, el hombre, Cade Cunningham.
Hola, México. Muchas gracias por venir. Mi español poquito, pero amo a México. Amo a México.
Tonight's Peacock exclusive coverage presented by Xfinity. Welcome to Arena Ciudad de Mexico. Tonight, it is the Dallas Mavericks and the Detroit Pistons. We are closing in on tip-off time. Always one of the really exciting things when the NBA brings the game globally, particularly to Mexico City. Tonight is the 34th game, preseason and regular season, staged in Mexico. Grant, I love to see when the player address happens, who's going to speak Spanish, and tonight the award goes to Cade Cunningham of the Pistons.
Yeah, Cade Cunningham clearly has been practicing.
He has been.
His Espanol. Very impressive. But you're right. Be able to go on the road, continue to spread the game, and the excitement and enthusiasm here in Mexico City for this game has been fun to watch.
Yes, absolutely. Had a chance to talk to Deputy Commissioner Mark Tatum yesterday, and he was just over the moon about being here again. He's been here, he said, over 20 times. There are grassroots efforts to grow the game here that's part of it. And of course, it's a capacity crowd and it's a chance to spread the joy of not only the NBA, but the game of basketball. Looks like the clocks are going to be okay. There was a bit of a concern about a clock issue before we got started. But Dedrick Taylor is at center court, and it's Jalen Duren and the season debut of Daniel Gafford for the Dallas Mavericks tonight. He's been out with an ankle injury suffered on the first day of training camp in Vancouver.
And Gafford couldn't come back at a better time for the Mavericks going against the Pistons, who like to go inside, establish Duren in the paint. So Gafford, who I would assume would be on some form of minute restriction, will try to get the most out of him, Jason Kidd, while he's on the floor.
I may have spoken a bit too soon, by the way, about making sure that the clocks are functioning properly. Both teams were out on the floor, and we are in a holding pattern before tip here.
Now, I've heard of the broadcaster jinx, the announcer jinx.
I don't believe in the commentator curse, by the way.
Commentator curse, I like that better. But I've never heard that or applied that to the clock. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's not supposed to happen before the game even starts.
Yes. Just builds up the anticipation.
Well, Grant, for both of these teams, they come in here on the same footing in this regard. They last played on Wednesday. They both played 5 games. They each had a back-to-back on Sunday and Monday. They played every game of their calendar so far on the same day. Wednesday openers last week, Friday, then Sunday, Monday back-to-back, and games on Wednesday. Both teams won on Wednesday. For the Mavericks, it's about survival due to the injuries that they have right now. But we talked to J.B. Bickerstaff before the game, and he said that their performance against the Orlando Magic, a 135-116 win on Wednesday night, was their best all-around performance of the year.
It was, and also considering they got off to a slow start in that game, but they played good basketball. They had force behind them, a sense of urgency, and Cade Cunningham was absolutely phenomenal in that game. So J.B. Bickerstaff is going to want his group to continue with that momentum down here in Mexico City tonight.
I have some news for you, Grant. I think you're going to find some of this interesting. And that is that there is a clock malfunction. It was frozen. Now it's not working. The particular issue, of course, is the shot clock. So we're about 5 minutes away from starting the game. And the shot clocks are going to be, and I want to give you a chance to think about this. We're going to step aside, but I know somewhere in your high school or college career, I bet you might have played with shot clocks at the corner. Think about it, and we'll be back to Mexico City right after this. We'll start shortly. There has been a clock malfunction. Specifically, the shot clocks are going to be placed in the corner. Referee crew chief James Capers walked over to the table a moment ago and informed us of the approximate 5-minute delay. So, as we discussed with the Hall of Famer Grant Hill, I just gave him a minute to think about it. Now, you've got a high school basketball career that dates back to the 80s, college early 90s. At some point in time, did you play with the shot clocks in the corner of a gym?
Well, Mark, you're putting a lot of pressure on me. I can barely remember it yesterday, let alone back in the 90s. But it did happen one time, and I want to say it was probably at North Carolina, where they have inferior facilities there, of course. So I'm sure one of those games there, that happened. But no, I honestly, I can't remember. It may have happened once or twice in the NBA. You know, as a player, you got to pivot, you got to adapt and adjust.
Yeah. What happens here for the players with the delay and the shot clock aspect of things?
Well, Mark, you know as well as anyone, athletes, NBA players are creatures of habits, and they have rhythm and routine before the game. They got the handshake line, they do their whole thing. So it will be interesting to see what team can adapt to this, but they're professionals. They play basketball. Once the ball is thrown in the air and it's tipped, I expect great performances from both teams and a great game.
James Capers, the crew chief, has brought the teams back out on the floor. He's pointing to the corners to tell both teams where the shot clocks are. I think what's interesting about this, Grant, is think about when you see players in a triple threat position, maybe a post-up position. You're holding the ball at the top of the key. And think of all the players who glance back either up at the clock at their end of the floor, or sometimes players look back at the clock over the basket at the other end of the floor. That may be the most intriguing part about this, is you're going to have to adjust what you normally would do in that regard.
Yeah, 100%. But you know what? Talking to both coaches, they want their teams to play with pace. So maybe the shot clock won't be an issue here, as these coaches want their teams getting up and down to get high percentage shots in transition. So we'll see.
We will indeed see, and we are ready to go. And the opening tip is controlled by the Dallas Mavericks, who are playing their 8th game in Mexico City. 4 preseason games. This is their 4th regular season game. The #1 overall pick, Cooper Flagg, puts it down and misses on the lefty layup attempt.
But I like that. He was aggressive early. He has the assignment of Asar Thompson guarding him. Getting downhill, being aggressive, a must for Cooper.
Daniel Gafford is back for Dallas tonight. He did contest that shot, but Asar Thompson in the paint scores the first basket of the game tonight for Detroit.
Thompson playing with more confidence this season on the offensive end. Shooting the ball from the perimeter with more confidence, too.
Numbers have shot up to 14 points per game, almost a 4% increase this year. P.J. Washington in the paint for the Mavs. It's a tip-down offensive rebound controlled by Flagg. Gafford going up for his first shot attempt, and it's blocked. Pistons run the floor. They didn't have to worry about a shot clock there. Jalen Duren, the alley-oop, and catch and finish.
And Mark, last season, Cade Cunningham had 60 alley-oops to Jalen Duren. Most of any combination in the NBA. Normally in the pick and roll, you saw it on that play in transition.
Assists are at 8 a game this year for Cunningham. Averaged over 9 assists a game last year. Off-balance jumper from the elbow, missed for Cooper Flagg. The veteran Tobias Harris, his second go-round with Detroit. Duren leads it for him. A hand by Gafford and the ball out of bounds with 16 on the shot clock.
And right there, getting out in transition. Jalen Duren, when the big man runs, you got to feed him. Cade Cunningham always has his head up. Mismatch. Gafford a little late in transition. His fatigue right now could be interesting in this game.
Duncan Robinson for 3.
And that's why he was brought in. Duncan Robinson, a marksman. Right there, catch and shoot, easy.
P.J. Washington to answer for Dallas, short on a 3. Thompson the rebound, tried the outlet pass. Deflected by Washington, but controlled by Thompson. Tobias Harris steps into a long launch. Defensive board. And Cooper Flagg can run after grabbing the defensive rebound. Max Christie, excellent corner three-point shooter. That's his 10th made corner 3 of the year.
Yeah, and playing with confidence from that corner 3 shot, as you talked about, but that's pace that the Mavericks have to play with. Get the rebound down the floor before this Pistons defense can get set up.
Detroit scored the first 7. Mavericks missed their first 5 shots. And Cade Cunningham in the lane and a spectacular finish.
Cade Cunningham continuing with his play. Had that fantastic game Wednesday night at home against Orlando. And right there, Klay Thompson giving this crowd here in Mexico City a taste of what he's known for.
It is interesting you bring that up. During the starting lineup announcements, you may have heard the loudest ovation on the Mavs side of the equation was for the 4-time champion for the Golden State Warriors, Klay Thompson. Strong move by Duren, and a foul is called on Dallas.
And clearly, Mark, the fans here in Mexico City, they like champions.
Yes, sir.
Klay,
who doesn't?
Who doesn't? But that was important. Klay has struggled at times with that shot. And here, look, this shot. Driving, being contested by Gafford. You know, Cade, we talk about his shooting, his passing, but his ability at the rim, his size, his strength to absorb contact, and that was not as easy as it looked.
Dwight Powell is into the game. To our earlier point, Dallas plans on playing Gafford in about 3-minute stretches. Loose ball falls for Asar Thompson, and Thompson is fouled and will head to the stripe with just over 3 minutes played in the game.
And we talked about just how the Pistons want to establish the interior, and a lot of pick and roll action, particularly with Cunningham and Duren. Duren getting into the paint, causing some collisions there, and Asar Thompson in the right place at the right time.
Thompson missing on the first of 2 for the season. He's at 61% at the line. J.B. Bickerstaff's team won 44 games last year. On the injury front, they're still, of course, without Jaden Ivey, who had a right knee scope before the season started. Marcus Sasser is now missing his 6th game at the beginning of the year due to a right hip injury, as Duncan Robinson sneaks in on the offensive glass.
I'm not used to saying that. Duncan Robinson with an offensive tip in?
81% of his shots are three-pointers.
Exactly.
And he goes to the basket on the missed free throw. P.J. Washington spots up. Too strong on a three. Dwight Powell, big game on Wednesday. And Dallas's victory over Indiana. Offensive rebound leads to a Klay Thompson corner three.
And I like that possession right there for Dallas. Dribble penetration, sharing the basketball, offensive rebound, leading to that open three.
Cunningham, alley-oop with authority to finish by Jalen Duren.
I think these guys have settled in now.
That 5-minute delay due to the shot clock malfunction is a distant memory, particularly for Cunningham and Duren. Cooper missed on the jump shot a moment ago. Robinson, who already has 5, is way off target. Thompson tried to save it in, and the ball's out of bounds. Dallas ball with just over 4 minutes played.
Duncan Robinson pulling up there looking... It was like a Steph Curry in Paris last summer shot. Off balance three there. And I guess when you're feeling it, you let it fly. As we see Klay Thompson getting a breather.
And D'Angelo Russell going in for the Mavs. And to your point, Grant, Robinson is feeling good about his shot. Started the year with the new team, of course. 0 for his first 6 from deep. He's made 50% since 13 out of 26.
And too good a shooter. He will settle in. Hit 4 threes Wednesday against Orlando. See right away, Dallas is getting it up there from the three-point line. And as you talked about, Max Christie, he loves that corner three, shooting at a high percentage, 51% from the three-point line this year for Christie.
Sar Thompson has gone out. And the first sub of the game is Karis LeVert. Missed 3 games recently with a hamstring injury. Returned to play on Wednesday. Still on a minutes restriction tonight as Max Christie weaves through the defense and on the drive to the cup has Dallas's first 2-point basket of the game.
And I like Christie being aggressive. And Dwight Powell with that Gortat screen, assisting on that layup.
Now it's Christie extending defensively. They double team the ball in the pick and roll. Duren to Tobias Harris. Offside rebound for P.J. Washington.
And good help on that roll, forcing Duren to pass it out.
And with the defensive rebound and the tap move, bisecting the lane on the drive, and straight to the basket, P.J. Washington. Gonna go down low. They'll double the ball. Tobias Harris. Good ball movement. Cunningham with the assist, and another jam for Jalen Duren. First time out of the game with 6:55 left in the first quarter. It's Dia de Muertos weekend outside the Catedral Metropolitana in Mexico City. Of the NBA. Welcome back to Mexico City, where the Dallas Mavericks and Detroit Pistons are playing for the second time in one of the Mexico City games. Mavericks head coach Jason Kidd in his 5th season as the coach of the Mavericks. J.B. Bickerstaff, his counterpart, season 2 as head coach of the Pistons. It was a slow start for Dallas. Detroit scored the first 7 points of the game. Mavericks have tied it once. Pistons currently in front by 2. Let's see what the action is out of a timeout for the Mavericks. It's a drive, but no finish for D'Angelo Russell. Change of direction. Karis LeVert pull up in the paint is on the money.
And a nice pickup. Karis LeVert last year played well in Cleveland, got traded to Atlanta, kind of finding his way with the Pistons. But with this second unit, could be an added weapon for the Pistons.
And tonight is just his 3rd game of the season. Career 14-point per game score. Show and go by Washington. Used his shoulder against Duren to create space and finish.
I'll tell you, first of all, Duren did a great job sliding his feet there on that drive. But P.J. Washington showing his ability off the bounce. I thought last season he had the ball in his hands a little bit more and just getting more comfortable with the ball, driving. A few years ago was maybe primarily a corner three-point shooter. At times would post up, but Washington improving that part of his game certainly gets approval from Jason Kidd.
And by the way, there has been a foul calls here as well. Isaiah Stewart is called for foul. And so that is an off-ball foul that happened as Washington made the shot. So it's a chance for a 3-point possession here for the Mavericks on this trip down the floor, almost midway through the first quarter. Powell connects. Powell scored 18 points Wednesday against Indiana. His most points in a game since March of 2023.
And you were on that call. I was watching the game, and I heard the crowd yelling MVP.
Yes, most valuable Powell. That's what they were saying.
I like that.
Isaiah Stewart, dribble handoff. Cunningham off target. And D'Angelo Russell, averaging about 11 points per game this year, drops in for the rebound. Backdoor cut, ball is tipped out of bounds, and the referees look at each other, and the ultimate call is Detroit ball.
No, I think they switched it back. Capers called it for Detroit.
The referees tonight are the veteran James Capers in his 31st season from Chicago, Dedrick Taylor in his 12th season from Miami, and Brandon Adair in his 8th year from Norfolk, Virginia. Ron Holland is into the game. Talked with J.B. Bickerstaff beforehand. He said, we just love everything Ron Holland does. He's more aggressive this year on offense, and he plays defense with an intensity and a focus that is exactly what we want out of Detroit Pistons basketball. But it's still in the end is Dallas breaking down the defense and taking their first lead on the inside finish by Dwight Powell.
Yeah, we talked about Dallas struggling on offense there, but nice possession again. Player movement, body movement. And once again, those two, they are connected on that screen and roll action, Duren and Cunningham.
That's 4 made baskets and 4 attempts so far for Duren as the ball goes out of bounds off Max Christie.
And that's something now with Dallas, a smaller lineup. Gafford's on the bench. They're really going to have to pack it in on this screen and roll. The weak side's going to have to help. That Detroit loves this double high screen action, particularly with Stewart at the top.
Deflection by Washington, but a look what I found for Stewart, and going high to the sky to grab it is Duren with a big finish. That's 10 of the first quarter. And what this is doing is it's helping Detroit solve their first quarter woes as Russell got in under the arms of Karis LeVert and draws a foul. Grant, this year Detroit is 29th in the league in first quarter scoring differential. Obviously very small sample size, but -8 points per first quarter. They're shooting only 37% in first quarters this year, but a lot of high percentage opportunities for Jalen Duren has staked into a 3-point lead so far.
And J.B. Bickerstaff has to be pleased, with the focus and the attention to detail to start this game. Said that he just felt they were a little casual to start games, these first 5 games, not having that sense of urgency. That's part of having expectations. And last season, they were the hunters. This year, they're the hunted. So certainly they are responding here by coming out with some force in this first quarter.
Split on the line for Russell. Brandon Williams, who led Dallas Wednesday with 20 points, is checked into the game on the perimeter. As this time Duren shows off the ability to put it down. It's been catching a lot of lobs, but he put it down and drew the foul on Dwight Powell, which is the 3rd team foul for Dallas here in the first quarter.
And Duren, with that improved ball handling, as you're talking about, Mark, he has been able to really draw a lot of fouls this season and get to the free throw line as a result. As we see now Dallas switching to a 2-3 zone here to try to guard the paint better against the Pistons.
And your point, Duren, 6 free throw attempts a game, shooting it well, 84%. Cut to the basket, Holland lost it. Marshall with the deflection, and Dallas with a chance to run. Open 3 is up, but the hoist is no good, and Powell misses on the putback up. Washington missed the initial attempt. Powell going for the offensive rebound putback, draws a foul, and will head to the free throw line.
And that right there looked like the most valuable. Powell getting up there on the rim. Wow. A confrontation up there. Powell just steady, reliable, high energy. Obviously is asked right now to do more as the bigs of Dallas have been struggling with injuries and not being available. But Powell, you know what you're going to get from him, just a consummate professional.
Had a career high in made free throws and attempted free throws, 10 of 12 in the game on Wednesday night.
And look at this, goes just up there. I mean, Duren tries to contest him there, a hard foul. Powell to the charity stripe.
The foul on Jalen Duren is his 2nd. As you see in the screen, longest tenured active player with the Mavericks, Dwight Powell. 5th in team history in games played. Tonight his 705th appearance and his 3rd appearance, by the way, in Mexico City. Played with the Mavericks against the Suns in 2017 and against these Detroit Pistons in 2019.
And the Mavs have done a good job. Last 2 possessions, running this zone, keeping Detroit out of the paint.
Marshall finishes inside. Najee Marshall, nearly 62% last year on paint field goal attempts. Quick answer attempt anyway, but the scoop to the hoop is missed by Karis LeVert. And from Toluca, the three-point attempt goes up for D'Angelo Russell. Ball is out of bounds off Dallas, and with 3:40 left in the first quarter, Mavericks lead by 2, Pistons ball.
He pulled up from Guadalajara right there. That was deep.
Nice job, Russell. I'm impressed on your Mexican geography.
Don't be. I'm not.
Well done, my friend.
It's not that impressive, but Russell, who's struggled a bit with his shooting thus far this season.
Deflection by Brandon Williams. And to revisit a point that you brought up a moment ago, to clear up for all of our viewers tonight who may not be aware about injuries to the Dallas Bigs. Derek Lively with the knee injury is now missing his 3rd consecutive game. Anthony Davis went out of their game on Wednesday with what was at the time described as lower left leg soreness. Stewart taps home his own miss for Detroit to tie the game. After an MRI, Anthony Davis has what's deemed by the team as a low-grade left calf strain and is out a minimum of 2 games.
And I'm grateful for that. When he went down, I was worried as Cooper Flag knocks down a 3-pointer from the top. But Anthony Davis, we saw him out here working out before the game. They said a couple games he'll be back, and so a great sign for the Mavericks.
Those were the first points of tonight's game for Cooper Flag. Tobias Harris inside, draws the foul. There's a timeout on the floor with 2:49 left in the first quarter. In Mexico City, Dallas with a 3-point lead over Detroit. Time now to check in on the game spread provided by DraftKings Sportsbook. Started at 7.5, currently at 5.5. Pistons favored. DraftKings is the #1 sportsbook for live betting. To get in on the action, download the app and use promo code DUNK when you sign up. Balanced scoring for Dallas en route to a 26-23 lead, but Detroit is really leaning heavily on the big shoulders of Jalen Duren.
Big shoulders indeed, and they're just throwing it up there, and he is getting it, taking advantage of the poor rotations inside from Detroit. And even Isaiah Stewart is getting into the game, throwing lobs. But Duren just puts pressure on that rim, forces you to make some rotations, and if you do, then the 3-point shooters will have some wide open looks for the Pistons.
A foul on Najee Marshall before the timeout has led to these free throws for Tobias Harris. Harris has made all 15 free throws he's attempted this season, including those 2. When Jalen Duren scores big, it does add up to positive results so far this year for Detroit. They've won both games when he scored 20+. Gafford is back in for Dallas, going after a rebound. Williams missed the shot. Gafford alertly tipped it out to Cooper. Here's a drive and kick by Brandon Williams. Even off the deflection, the pass was still caught by Marshall all the way around the horn, and the 3 in and out for Brandon Williams.
Brandon Williams, how about his play as of late? So quick, a blur almost getting downhill.
Jason Kidd said before the game that he doesn't think Brandon Williams can be guarded by very many defenders, if any at all, 1v1.
I agree.
Thompson keeps it alive, and there's a foul. Stewart missed the jump shot, and the work from Asar Thompson not only kept the ball alive, but it's put Dallas over the foul limit here in the first quarter with the 5th team foul on the Mavs at 2:07 to play.
And Isaiah Stewart, I mean, he is shooting the 3-point shot much better this season, 50%, gaining that confidence. And we've seen J.B. Bickerstaff playing him and Duren together out on the court, which is scary for opponents.
And the volume's up, too, on the 3-point attempts for Isaiah Stewart, who was taking fewer than 1 3-point attempt per game last year. This season, well over 2 3-point attempts per game for Stewart.
It's the modern game. As a big, you got to be able to knock down the 3-pointer, and he's adapted his game to that.
Okay, so Grant, as we just saw the free throw shooter grab the rebound, Harris missing inside, and a putback missed by Hollins. As an ex-player, how much does it drive you crazy when the free throw shooter gets the offensive rebound? It didn't lead to anything for Detroit, but Asar Thompson getting the offensive rebound a moment ago off his own missed freebie.
Yeah, that's a big no-no right there. I know Jason Kidd not happy.
Holland, good defense, contests the shot and commits the foul.
And how about that right there? You're right, great defense by Holland, but Williams just kind of backing him down there and playing with confidence and able to draw that foul. So good at getting downhill, getting into the paint. He's not tall, 6'1", but plays big.
20 points and nearly a career-high 7 boards on Wednesday. Monday, the Voice Knockouts are rocking with mega mentors Zach Brown and Joe Walsh. Plus, there's a whole new twist. Find out what happens when the coaches hit the mic drop button. The Voice Knockouts, Monday on NBC and Peacock. What if NBA coaches had a mic drop button? That would bring a whole new element to the game.
Oh, yeah, I like that. I like it.
Pass inside, and Thompson, the intended recipient of the pass, was fouled.
And I like that little set right there. Thompson had Williams guarding him, just a little bit of a elbow action, went right down the middle to post up. All Williams could do in that case was foul Thompson.
The 5th pick of the 2023 drafts, Ausar Thompson had a double-double on Wednesday night with 12 points and 11 rebounds, and of course chipped in 6 assists as well. He's averaging 4 dimes a game. The hiccup for him tonight has been shooting free throws. He's already been on the line for 4 and only made 1, but the misses have led to offensive rebounds for Detroit. One time they converted, the last time they did not.
We talked earlier, you know, Ausar Thompson, the shooting part as he misses another free throw. Was that a, what did you say? What was the, not an announcer jinx, but a
commentator curse.
Commentator curse,
yes,
okay.
Which I don't believe in.
I don't believe in it. I was just wanted to recall what you said earlier in the night. But Thompson, the shooting part, you know, if he can continue to get better there, still only 22% from the three-point line. But watching tape, he looks more decisive and confident in taking it. I thought last year he was a reluctant three-point shooter. And so, you know, it's not going to happen overnight, but still, he brings so much value to this team with all he does.
Well, we saw it right there, depending on Russell. Russell wins a Cooper flag, back outside to Russell. Three-point attempt is missed, and then the ball is poked out by Daniel Gafford. It's Detroit ball as we head down towards the final minute of the first quarter. 1:11 right now with the game tied.
And Mark, I mean, look, I'll tell you this. For Daniel Gafford, you've been out, you come back your first game, and you're playing in Mexico City.
7,200 feet.
The altitude, oh, I know he's feeling it right now in his lungs a little bit.
Yeah, it's a long burner.
But good to see him back out as he makes a great block there on that Thompson drive.
Marshall was measuring his defender, LeVert, in the corner. Drive to the basket by Cooper Flag. Ball is deflected. And the last touch of the ball is by Isaiah Stewart, but it does leave Dallas with a healthy amount, still 11 on the shot clock.
And Isaiah Stewart, the physicality, even defending that drive. I don't know if Cooper saw that against Carolina last year.
Tried to separate on a screen was Cooper. Instead, it goes out to Daniel Gafford on the three-point line. Now, low clock. Remember that the shot clocks over the baskets are off, but that did not deter Najee Marshall, who just drilled his first three-pointer of the season.
Tough first three-pointer of the season.
Long 2 on the baseline is missed by LeVert. Dallas might have been able to shoot for a 2-for-1, but a turnover on the travel by Cooper.
A little indecisive right there. I wasn't sure if Cooper wanted to shoot it or drive, and certainly it doesn't help when Ausar Thompson is guarding you. But hey, impressive first quarter for both groups. You know, I mean, we talked about how they struggled offensively, and you know, both teams have done some really positive things on the offensive end. Now, maybe if they can clean up the defense going into the second quarter, but coaches will be happy.
And for those just tuning in, this is all against the backdrop of the game starting almost 10 full minutes late. There was a shot clock malfunction before the game, so the above the basket clocks are not working, and they have the shot clocks and game clocks in the corners of the arena here in Mexico City. I feel like I'm watching Hoosiers. Down goes Gafford, and a cross-court skip pass and a shot clock buzzer-beating attempt that was missed by Harris. Max Christie lets it fly. The new heave rule gave him the confidence to fling it forward, and he misses off the iron at the end of the first quarter. Tonight's Peacock exclusive coverage presented by Xfinity. Mavericks up by 3 after 1.
Well, welcome back to Mexico City. We've got the Pistons and the Mavs. The Mavs up by 3 as we get ready for this second quarter. Well, we have 2 NBA superstars in this building tonight, and I am not talking about Cade Cunningham and Cooper Flag. I'm talking about Dallas Mavericks head coach Jason Kidd and our guy Grant Hill. The 2 share an odd amount of parallels in their careers. They reached a lot of milestones, and they reached them together. Let's start actually before they got drafted. The 2 played against each other, Cal versus Duke, in the NCAA tournament. Then they were both drafted 2nd and 3rd overall in the 1994 NBA draft. They were named 1995 co-rookies of the year, and they actually both retired the same weekend, and they were inducted into the Hall of Fame in the same 2018 class. And talking to both of them today, actually heard their golf games are pretty similar, right, Grant?
I appreciate that vote of confidence, Ashley, with my golf game. Jason might be a little bit better than me.
Yeah.
But I just clearly can't shake the guy, you know? Everything I do, he does. Or everything he does, I do.
Well, the best part of the weekend has been doing a deep dive on Cal Duke in the 1993 NCAA tournament. Here's a floater by Javonte Green that has missed.
Now, Mark, why did you have to just ruin a great night by bringing up that
You had 8
travesty?
steals. You had 8 steals in the game, though. That's what I was going to get to first.
I appreciate that. Okay.
As Russell misses on the 3-point attempt. No one has scored here to start the first minute of the second quarter. Dallas still owns a 3-point lead. But now Detroit on the board in the quarter, and in fine fashion on the drive to the cup by Cade Cunningham.
And taking advantage. No big guys on the interior right now for Dallas. Powell's on the bench. Gafford's on the bench. Great awareness from Cunningham to get to the paint for the easy 2.
Caleb Martin is in with some run for Dallas and a roll to the basket and an easy finish for P.J. Washington.
Wow, okay. Dallas taking a page out of that Detroit's book right there. But Jason Kidd, I mean, I'll just say, one of the best point guards of all time, obviously, and has turned into a great coach. You know, we talked about all the challenges this season. As you see Cunningham with that easy 2. And then back the other way, P.J. Washington, knowing Stewart was there. Stewart, a great shot blocker in his own right. But no, Jason Kidd, one of my dearest friends. I'm very happy for his success and honored to be linked with him forever.
Co-rookies of the year, as Ashley mentioned in her report. Dallas drafted Jason Kidd 2, Detroit, Grant Hill 3. 1994 draft. Incredible careers, great friends. For 3, D'Angelo Russell. Detroit has trailed after the first quarter of all 6 games this year. The deficit was 3 after 1 tonight. The current deficit for Detroit is 6. Duncan Robinson, he puts it down, attacks inside. Isaiah Stewart with a putback and a foul. You were talking about his defense a moment ago. J.B. Bickerstaff told us before the game he's the best paint protector in his opinion in the NBA. But he also can get some damage done and bowling ball players out of the way on the offensive glass as well.
Well, I mean, J.B. Bickerstaff is his coach. He's supposed to say that. You know, Victor Wembanyama, I mean, he's right up there too. But the 2 of them, in terms of blocking shots this season, are 1 and 2. That's the kind of season that Stewart's having, and he's doing it with far fewer minutes than Victor Wembanyama.
I'm going to change it to, you know how they used to say Roy Jones Jr. was the best pound-for-pound fighter? So I'm going to give it pound for pound.
I like
for
that.
Stewart on the shot block.
Well, they might actually weigh the same amount.
a bit of a height disparity.
Yes. But, you know, Stewart's so important to this team. It was missed in last year's playoffs against New York, which was a great series. Every game coming down to 1 possession, and just can only imagine what that would have looked like for Detroit if Stewart could have been healthy and available.
Caleb Martin on the free throw line hits the first and 2. Let's look at the upcoming national TV schedule, which includes here on Peacock Monday night, Minnesota at Brooklyn. Minnesota navigating some time without Anthony Edwards. Julius Randle, of course, very important. Later on that night on NBA TV, Lakers at Portland. Portland's already defeated the Lakers this year. NBC Peacock, coast to coast on Tuesday. Orlando at Atlanta. OKC at the Clippers, the late game. Our friends at ESPN on Wednesday have Minnesota at the Knicks and the Spurs at the Lakers. For more on these games, please go to NBA.com or visit the NBA app. As I was running down that list of games, Atlanta got some bad news today, Grant, with an injury for Trae Young that's going to have him on the shelf for a few weeks. Knee injury.
Yeah, no, 4 weeks. He's going to be reevaluated in 4 weeks. So a tough blow there for the Hawks. But, you know, next man has to step up. And I know what I'm doing this week. As you listed all those games, I'm
on it, man.
Watching basketball with my high shoes.
A great candy, by the way. Block shot by P.J. Washington. Ball into the hands of Klay Thompson. Early second. Russell was double teamed on the ball, and it's a drive straight down the lane. There's that paint protection. Stewart repels Max Christie, and then Cade Cunningham off the defensive stop will accelerate the tempo for Detroit. And with 9:03 left in the second quarter, he earns himself a trip to the free throw line.
How about Stewart right there? I mean, he's only 6'8", with long arms and great timing. Christie with a beautiful drive there, and Stewart, what I love is he tapped the block to Cunningham to really ignite that fast break, and Cunningham, once again, getting to the rim and to the free throw line.
I'm going old school with the reference, but that's something Bill Russell, if you go way back, was one of the best at blocking shots to a teammate so you could start a fast break rather than just the emphatic rejection out of bounds.
100%. You know, I should have been following the Bill Russell, Isaiah Stewart. If I got a block, I was trying to smack it into the front row, you know, and not smart defense there, but Stewart with great timing and great awareness.
Speaking of good defense, Cade Cunningham coming off a 3-steal and 3-block game on Wednesday. But for Cunningham, a donut on the free throw line. You don't see Cunningham miss 2 free throws like that often. 82% this year as Russell knocks down another 3 for Dallas.
And we talked about D'Lo, his importance coming to the game. 18% from the three-point line, but starting to get it going here for Dallas. Great news.
Russell's made 4 threes all year going into the night. Now has 2 in this game. Smooth move to the basket. Cade Cunningham.
You said it best, smooth. Just plays at a nice, easy pace, great size. Just kind of waltzes his way to the rim.
Driving kick by Russell. Detroit sitting on that Christie corner threes, tied with OG Anunoby for the lead and made corner threes. They forced him to put it down. Washington missed on the attempt. Travel. Turnover for Ronald Holland II. His second season. He's a Dallas-Fort Worth area native, so playing against the hometown team. Won multiple state titles at Duncanville High School. Javonte Green jumped into the passing lane. There's that corner 3 from Max Christie. Way off, but Russell with an offensive rebound and a paint basket for D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah, right now just outworking Detroit there. Offensive rebound opportunities. Dallas making them pay.
Catch and shoot, no airspace, and as a matter of fact, a foul committed on the three-point try. A quick release 3 by Duncan Robinson, and Christie close enough to draw the attention of the referees, and a foul is called. And 3 free throws coming up for Duncan Robinson, who had played 7 seasons with Miami before an offseason sign and trade to Detroit with Simone Fontecchio, moving back the other way to the Heat.
A nice pickup there by Trajan Langdon. Duncan Robinson, obviously known for his shooting, had a nice game the other night against Orlando. Yeah, 15 points, only 7 shot attempts, made 4 threes. So he's starting to find his rhythm with this team, and a welcome addition to the Pistons. And you look here, you appreciate Christie. He knows the scouting report. He's got to close out to Duncan Robinson, who's got such a quick release. But he just got a little bit too close there in the landing space. A little bit of contact low.
And there is, of course, one of the points of emphasis this year is locking in on jump shots from a refereeing standpoint. And they're really looking for exaggerated movements with regards to swipes and things of that nature with the contest up high. But that was, to your point, again, getting into the landing space, which has certainly been on the radar for several years, not just a point of emphasis this year.
Well, the landing space rule is great because you want to protect the shooters, and so that's awesome. But I also think the contest, you know, you want to reward the defense for playing good, you know, for good effort. And if there's a little contact as part of the contest, that's okay. But when you wind up, like you said, then that's where the foul is. And so these officials are on it. And I like the changing of the rules to adapt to the times by the league.
87% Duncan Robinson, career free throw shooter, made all three. Drive and kick. Russell finds Cooper. Three-pointer is missed. Upstairs, another former #1 pick, Kate Cunningham, collects the defensive board. Stewart draws a double, looking for Duren, who's back in. Remember, 2 fouls short-circuited what was an outstanding first quarter for Duren with 10 points.
And they didn't waste any time to try to go to Duren. They had Isaiah Stewart posting up flag, and Powell went to double team. And Duren just runs to the rim, rolls down there, and Russell, all he could do was foul. It was a little shaken up, too, from fouling. I think I would be a little shaken up having to try to stop Duren on the inside.
He has been outstanding inside tonight, now 11 points. Tonight, don't miss an all-new Saturday Night Live. Host Miles Teller and musical guest Randy Carlisle. It's an all-new SNL tonight. Watch it live coast to coast on NBC and Peacock. Russell out, Brandon Williams in for Dallas. Jalen Duren is a big who shoots free throws very well, 84%. And Detroit's needed these free throws. They started 4 for 11 from the line tonight, but they made their last 5. Turnover, Powell. Detroit numbers in the open court, but a deflection by Cooper flag, and it's picked up by Brandon Williams. Najee Marshall made his first 3 of the season tonight. That one off from the corner. Powell had it. Green poked it away. Robinson controls for Detroit.
A little frenetic out here right now. Both teams turning it over.
Good ball movement. And then good movement off the ball by Javonte Green. And Green catches in the paint and scores. And there's a timeout on the floor. Detroit making a run. 7 straight points. The Dallas lead down to 2. Yesterday, the NBA Detroit Pistons and Dallas Mavericks joined the NBPA and Project Backboard to unveil a refurbished community basketball court at Deportivo Azcapotzalco. Players, legends, team and league executives were all on hand to dedicate the space and participate in youth basketball clinics with students. These efforts highlight the NBA's commitment to create safe and inclusive environments while using the power of basketball to bring people together. I had a great chance to talk to Deputy Commissioner Mark Tatum yesterday. In addition to, we talked today at shoot-around to Dwight Powell for the Mavericks before tonight's game. J.B. Bickerstaff, the head coach of the Detroit Pistons, and all of them echoed that sentiment of how important it is to them, not only to be able to grow the game at a grassroots level here, but coming and playing a game in Mexico City means that a young person who might never have a chance to get to see an NBA game in person can realize the potential, their own potential, and the opportunity that the sport provides them. Even if you're not talking about making it to the NBA level, it's just such great growth for the game to stage these international games. Again, tonight, the 34th overall in Mexico, 15th regular season game.
Well, I mean, it's wonderful. And right now, the NBA, about 30% of the league are international players. And during the time that I've been associated since '94, it's amazing. And Klay Thompson missed a corner 3, but just how the game has grown and spread all over the globe. And the fact that they come in, they get their players, they give courts, they create experiences for these young girls, young boys. The fans here can watch their favorite teams and favorite players live in action. It's just wonderful to be a part of, and certainly I was excited to get the call to be able to come down here and work this game and the chance to work with you.
I was excited to get the call as well. You know how much I think you've noticed over the last 48 hours how much I love being in Mexico City.
Yes. Yeah. No, I mean you've been here before.
Yes, yes.
And you've had some great restaurant recommendations.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
Yes, thank you very much.
Very knowledgeable about the city here. So you've been a good partner in more ways than one.
Well, Dwight Powell just picked up a foul. And talking to him in shoot-around today, he said he loves the energy. He's played here twice. More importantly than me being here twice before is Dwight Powell's been here twice before to play. And he said he loves the energy of the fans playing here, but he's not going to have a chance to absorb that energy right now. He goes out of the game after the foul. And it's a dry spell for Dallas, and going to the free throw line and making them has brought Detroit back into this game. 9-0 run, Grant, for the Pistons.
Well, fouling a little too much, obviously giving up some size. And the Pistons, majority of their points have been in the paint. Trying to limit that fouling. Right now on that dribble penetration by Cooper Flagg, he's able to draw a foul, I think, on Tobias Harris.
Second in the quarter on the Pistons. Meanwhile, Dallas is already over the limit here with 5:35 left in the second. Well, Detroit's, they flipped the script tonight. Normally, they're committing fouls. They commit the most fouls in the league so far this year, but they've drawn enough fouls to already shoot 18 free throws. Here's a steal. Asar Thompson waiting for support. LeVert arrives, not in position really to take Brandon Williams off the bounce. So it's Harris. Double. Duran against Gafford, making his season debut, and a nice move down low. Duran with the finish and the foul.
Man, Mark, you don't see Duran post up a lot. You see it more so in the rolling action, as we saw earlier in this game, but certainly more than capable. And so strong, those broad shoulders. Just a nice drop step on the baseline. All Gafford could do in that case was foul. Once again, Detroit back to the free throw line where they have shot a few. They shot quite a few here this evening. Haven't been efficient, but they're getting to the line.
Started out 4 for 11 on free throws in this game. However, they've now made their last 8, including the one for the 3 the hard way for Duran. And running a side pick and roll, Marshall and Gafford. And Gafford in the paint is fouled for the 3rd in the quarter on Detroit. Harris LeVert called for the foul. Side out for Dallas, 14 to shoot.
And Mark, you notice Thompson guarding Williams right now has the foot speed and the length, and a beautiful back cut, and also a beautiful pass there from Gafford.
Basket for Klay Thompson. And that stopped Detroit's 12-0 run. It had gone from 42-33 Dallas to 45-42 Detroit. Williams closes out on Robinson. A drive up off the glass. Duran there, second chance basket.
And that's tough because Gafford goes to contest Robinson on that drive, and no one there to crack back and seal Duran. Even if they were there, I don't think they would be able to stop him as big as he is.
2 more on the board for Jalen Duran. Here's a runner for Klay Thompson, no good. Duran tips the rebound to Robinson. 3-on-3 right now, cut to the basket, flushed. Tobias Harris. Excellent ball movement with Biggs running the floor.
And doing this with Cade Cunningham on the bench, this group for the Detroit getting stops and feasting in transition.
16-2 Detroit run. This on the 3-point try, Klay Thompson. Harris, who just had to cut to the basket and finish, will go coast to coast to score and foul.
And that right there, Mark, that's just a veteran move. 15 years in the NBA, taking advantage of Cooper Flagg. And on the other end, just a great back cut. LeVert overplaying Klay Thompson. Great awareness. And I talked earlier, Gafford contesting. No one there for Duran on the glass and making him pay. And you see it, transition. We talked about it. Getting stops, getting out in the open court. And yes, the reoccurring theme, the Pistons on the free throw line. And they miss another.
Cooper Flagg with the rebound. Harris with 8 points. Catch and shoot 3. Brandon Williams misses. I love what Asar Thompson, he spoke so glowingly about Harris's leadership. It's something that he wrote recently for the Players Tribune. It was out a few days ago. Talked to JP Bickerstaff before the game. He said that Tobias Harris is a veteran leader as his security blanket. A clothesline corner 3 goes in for Asar Thompson.
Yeah, that was a clothesline right there, but right now it's been all Detroit The Motor City Madness down here in Mexico.
And it's a nightmare right now for the Mavericks trying to defend Detroit inside. There's a 21-2 Detroit run happening right now, Grant, over the last 4+ minutes. And two things with a symbiotic relationship, free throws and paint points, and a big edge in both of them for the Pistons so far.
Well, because they're driving and getting into the paint. They're putting so much pressure right now. Detroit only 1 of 7 from the three-point line. But what's been working has been getting down there and either scoring or getting to the free throw line.
The out-of-timeout action for Dallas is a low block catch for Cooper Flagg, and he draws a foul, the 4th in the quarter on Detroit. In attendance tonight, one of 4 Mexican-born players. Just saw on the screen a moment ago Eduardo Nájera, who got a big round of applause when he was introduced, as of course you would expect, earlier in the game, formerly of the Dallas Mavericks and Golden State Warriors, Denver Nuggets, among others in his career.
Played against him, tough player. Certainly identified with him, though, with the Mavericks, as Williams hits a nice step-back mid-range jump shot. Let's see now if Dallas can get some stops without fouling on the defensive end, put together some opportunities on the offensive side.
Closing quarters, such an important component. And here are the last 3 minutes of the second quarter. A contest inside by P.J. Washington already has 2 block shots of the game. Dallas running off the miss and coming together inside between Duncan Robinson and Cooper Flagg. Robinson is down with the foul, and behind the play, I believe I noticed Tobias Harris seemed like the maybe bang knees or something like that is slow to get back onto the lane line here for the free throws.
Yeah, well, how about that? Good defense at the contest on the interior. P.J. Washington leading to a 3-on-1 fast break. And Dallas finding some momentum here down the stretch. Little unselfish fast break. Almost a 3-point play opportunity. You see Harris there grabbing his leg.
Talked about the disparity of paint points a moment ago. Probably a good time to remind our viewers tonight that Detroit attempts more shots of the paint than any team in the league. Almost 53 a game. But they attempt a 3 here, just their 3rd make from deep tonight. That's Tobias Harris. Corner 3, answering the Cooper Flagg free throws. He made both of those. Cooper's 15 of 15 on free throws this year. Strong move inside Washington. Dish to Brandon Williams, trying to keep him out of the paint. Easier said than done. Slicing up the baseline, Brandon Williams against Robinson.
Yeah, doing that against larger opponents there, exerting himself, and then a little just lack of concentration on the inbounds pass. Thompson loses the ball, no one guarding him, and Dallas ball underneath. And as well as Detroit has played, particularly in that second quarter, Dallas just hanging around, hanging around and trying to create some momentum as Stewart. And he had a lot on his body. That's like how I was at the end of my career. 39, you have heat packs and all different types of things to try to stay warm on the bench. Isaiah's too young for that.
24 years old as Christie drills a 3. His 11th corner 3 of the year, surpassing OG Anunoby for the most in the NBA. Good rebound by Washington. Flagg has it. There was a big pendulum swing here in the second quarter as Detroit took a double-digit lead. Miss inside by Cooper Flagg. Detroit could have seen the lead shrink to 2. A miss down deep by Flagg, and Harris with the one-hand pass to Asar Thompson. Turnaround fadeaway, way short for Thompson. Youngest player in the NBA, debuted at 18 years, 305 days old. Heaving from deep, 3-pointer is on target. 1-point game, Cooper Flagg hits.
Cooper Flagg now getting in his bag a little bit, but that timeout, Jason Kidd, what did he say to this team? Whatever he said, they have responded. Now 1-point game. Ooh. Elbow swing by Stewart.
There's up the baseline, steal. Dallas with the steal, the intercept by Cooper Flagg. Spin dribble by P.J. Washington. Spotting up, transition 3, and Dallas is seesaw back in front as Williams nails the 3-pointer.
How about that? quickly the momentum changes. And P.J. Washington, little playmaking ability. Dallas getting back into this game. It's been poor offensive execution by Detroit. Poor shot selection and turnovers. So right now, JB wanting 2 good possessions to close the half.
This could be a good possession. Robinson shooting a 3. You like that. It's Powell who collects the rebound off the miss by Robinson. Dallas wants to play fast. They are 5th in the league in pace, but they didn't push it then. On the bounce, Cooper Flagg is fouled as he was making a pass, but Detroit is already over the limit.
And I like what I'm seeing here these last few possessions from Cooper Flagg. He's starting to be more aggressive. You know, we talked with Jason Kidd before the game. He's only averaging about 12 field goal attempts per game. He wants to play the right way. He's an unselfish guy. He's still very young, as we all know, but starting to show what he can do when he's looking to be aggressive, hunting his shot. And he's played a huge role in Dallas regaining his lead.
You're talking with Jason before the game. The concept of him being just the ultimate get in where you fit in and make the right play. Jason said, sure, there are times we'd like him to shoot it more, but what we're doing is, I like this quote, we're playing to his DNA, and he's going to try to make right and winning plays at any point in time.
And he'll learn. Sometimes the right play is taking the shot. He will figure that out as he continues to evolve.
Situational sub, Caleb Martin has come out to guard the ball. Shot clock is off, into the first half. Oh, nice spin move! Spin the roll by Cade Cunningham scores with 4.9 left in the half. Big basket by Detroit. Deep trail 3 as Cooper was arriving and misses on the attempt from a few feet inside half court. Dallas led by as many as 9. Detroit has led by double digits. But after 24 minutes in Mexico City, Dallas 61, Detroit 59. Ashley Shavity will have an interview here in just a moment.
Well, impressive. We thought Dallas was almost dead in the water there. They just regrouped during that timeout, finished strong the last 3 minutes, and now have this lead really just with great defense, heart and hustle, and Cooper Flagg starting to step up.
And right now, Ashley is with D'Angelo Russell.
All right, D'Angelo, how are you guys able to get momentum on your side to close out this quarter?
Feels like a home game for us. This crowd's cheering us on. We're using it as that advantage.
And what's going to be important in this next half just to keep the momentum going?
Not foul. Continue to make it hard on them. Limit them to 1 shot, rebound, push it.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Jordan Cornette, take it away.
Thanks, Ashley. Coming up on the American Express at the half, we got Austin Rivers, Robbie Hummel, Jordan Cornette, and Cooper Flagg, the big ticket, starting to figure it out.
Well, it just shows you, and he has figured it out, no matter how talented you are in this league, being a rookie, never easy.
Nah, it's never easy, but he's got his team up. They're up, so, he's getting better each game.
We're just scratching the surface on this Cooper Flagg conversation, something you don't want to miss next. Doing it down low. Pistons trail by a bucket. Time now for our game you can trust, presented by American Express. And we talked about Jalen Duren. During the first half, he was getting it done. During the second quarter, he was getting it done. Jalen Duren feasting on this front line that is lacking due to injury for this Dallas group. So, look, come on into the Peacock Studios, the 3-man weave. We've got Austin Rivers. We've got Robbie Hummel. I'm Jordan Cornette. We teased you talking about the first-year guy. We saw the stats from the fourth-year guy, Jalen Duren, but the first-year guy, Cooper Flagg, rookie superstar, starting to figure it out. Yes, he's young, so it's not going to come easy, but you believe maybe there's a bigger conversation to be had about maybe how Cooper's being used?
Yeah, I think there's a method to Jason Kidd's madness. People talked about Cooper Flagg doesn't have the experience of playing the point guard position. He didn't grow up playing it. He didn't play it at Duke. And then suddenly, as the top pick in the draft, Kyrie goes down, they throw him right in there. It's a lot for a rookie. You kind of look around the league, you look at guys like VJ Edgecombe who get to just go into Philly and just play. He's playing against a Tyrese Maxey. Hey, man, just go be a wing, go be athletic. That's not what they're asking for Cooper Flagg. They're asking much more. They're asking for point guard responsibilities, bringing up the ball, knowing the play calls, the sets, getting everybody involved. If this guy hasn't got the ball in a while, I got to get him the ball. the tempo. These are things that a guy who's never played point guard before, to ask him to do as a rookie with all the other jitters, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Well, and on top of that, you know, it's not like Jason Kidd has just forgotten how to coach. You know,
Right.
He is doing this with the hope that when you get a guy like a Kyrie Irving back, okay, whether that's this January or March or even if it's next year, now on the second side, after Kyrie has done his thing and initiated offense, now you're talking about, okay, well, Cooper Flagg can be that secondary creator because he has this type of experience. Now, there's some growing pains, and the question then becomes, what is Dallas's timeline? Because if you want to win now, this might not be the best thing. But if you want to win down the road, this can be very beneficial for his development.
And I am very curious about that. You do mention Jay Kidd. And if you go back to Jay Kidd's time with the Bucks, remember, that's how he used Giannis. He liked having that big point guard. So philosophically, maybe he sees this as the path for the Mavs. I do want to go micro here. In this game tonight, how are you seeing this show face with Cooper Flagg at point guard right now, Austin?
Yeah, well, it's progressing. You can see this game kind of emulates his start of the season. He's a little tentative coming out the break or coming out the gates, but he's starting to feel his aggression getting there. This is where you see him sometimes drive, get into trouble, not knowing where his spots are on the floor, not knowing where he's looking to, get his teammates involved versus scoring. This is the thoughts of a point guard that's never played that position before. So he's got to find himself. For him, he's just got to put his head down, I think, and attack and look to kick. That's the best way.
Well, and Austin, it's about being assertive. It's about being decisive in what you want to do. If I'm going to drive, all right, I'm putting it on the floor. If I'm open, I'm going to shoot. At just times it looks like his brain is going a million miles an hour. And look, with the NBA, with the scheme, with the length, with everything you're dealing with as a rookie, it's a different animal, even from playing at Duke University. So I think it's about just being decisive and just going with your gut.
You're talking about a Hall of Famer in Kyrie Irving, who tore that ACL March 3rd. Coach Kidd says he may be back before the new year when you talk about timeline. So when Kyrie comes back, Robbie tends to think that Kyrie probably becomes that point guard. Is that fair to say?
I don't know where else you'd put him.
No, he's the point guard.
But I'm saying, how do you use Cooper then? Where does his role then shift to?
Look at what's trending in the NBA. When you look at the Pacers, they had Nembhard and Halliburton out there. You look at even OKC, they have Jalen Williams having the ball and Shea. It's okay to have two. People are even wondering why the Spurs drafted the kid out of what's the Harper, and they got De'Aaron Fox coming back. It's okay to have two guards.
And now people are questioning if De'Aaron Fox and how he fits.
I guarantee you they'll figure it out. It's okay to have multiple playmakers. That's the way the NBA is trending right now. They have 4 guys on the floor who can dribble, kick, pass, make plays. You have someone like Cooper who right now is developing these skills that are going to come crucial playoff time, whether it's this year or next year. When he's running with Kyrie, you have a 6'7", 6'8" capable wing who now can make plays not only for himself but his teammates. It's just his game evolving. I'm seeing it tonight coming off that pick and roll. He's a little indecisive. Those skills will continue to improve the more reps he gets.
Yeah, Jordan, I think it's second side of the floor. It's putting him at the elbow. It's big-to-big pick and roll. I mean, there's a lot of ways that he can still create, even if Kyrie Irving is on the floor.
Yeah, and we're going to have these conversations naturally about a superstar like Cooper Flagg because, this is a global game. They're in Mexico City. He's the big-ticket draw, so naturally we're going to lean into that. Let's lean into this game a little bit more. Pistons started to build a lead. Of course, the Mavs closed out that first half to hold on to a 61-59 lead at the break. But how are the Pistons able to have so much success in the first half?
Well, it's been about points in the paint. And with who they lost last season, with no Tim Hardaway Jr., with no Malik Beasley, the question for the Detroit Pistons is who is going to make three-pointers. They're 3 of 12 from 3. They are 19 of 35 on twos. The points in the paint numbers off the charts. 38 of their 59 have come from inside that painted area. When they went on that run in the second quarter, it was a lot in transition. It was a lot of offensive rebounds. Jalen Duren has been an absolute monster. You look at his body. We saw him on Monday night. That dude, I don't know what his lifting program is. I wish I had it because that dude's got a body on him.
He's an Adonis. Here's a bigger question for me, Austin. Is this a formula for them to come out of the East? We saw the run they were able to put together a year ago. Doesn't feel like they've truly answered the questions with the three-point shot right now in the spacing. Still feels like a lot on Cade.
Yeah, we saw it last week when they played the Cavs. They've just lost a lot in terms of shooting and spacing the floor. They didn't get Beasley back. They even lost Schroeder, a guy who can help finish games. And then they didn't get Tim Hardaway Jr. back, who's now in Denver. They lost a lot of shooting. Some of these smart, high-level teams you've seen, they just pack the paint in.
Yeah.
And it's very hard for a guy like Cade Cunningham, a guy who is pretty much unguardable in ISO, to have that room to operate. Every time it seems like he makes a move and would spin or go to a counter, someone's just sitting there waiting for him, living with the three. you know, they don't have a lot of shooting right now. I'm wondering why Dallas isn't packing the paint.
Up.
Just load up and make someone else make some jump shots. They only have one shooter out there, Duncan, that they have to be worried about chasing.
Well, and let's be honest, 3 of 12 from 3 is like a 2000s box.
Wild.
Yeah.
I mean, when
like
you look at like the Knicks and Mike Brown say, we're going to hoist 40 of them a game, you're seeing a team that is not even looking at the three-point shot right now. But, of course, Duncan Robinson's one of those guys they'll look to potentially.
And you know what? Tobias Harris is a guy that can make them. Karis LeVert is a guy that can make them. But when you're talking about losing Malik Beasley, who has just an incredible season last year shooting the basketball, I question if the Detroit way can win big. We saw it Monday against Cleveland with their length. They just loaded up, took all the twos away, took the offensive glass away. You take transition away. I don't know why Dallas hasn't done that in this game. I know they're shorthanded in their front court, but you've got to load up and make them prove it from 3 for everybody that's not Duncan Robinson.
So we voiced the concerns. Austin, what is the ceiling for this Detroit team with the limitations we've obviously identified here tonight?
I think the current and continued development of a Sir Thompson.
Yeah.
That he's the star of this team going forward, obviously with Cade, right? If this guy can develop even a mid-range starting out, something to keep the defense honest, it'll just even open up the game a little bit more. And right now, the only reason Dallas got back in the game is they started making it a track meet. The game got a little bit less ugly. The more physical and in the paint this is, it's going to go towards the Pistons. If Dallas can make this a track meet where Cooper's running around and they're flying, hitting some threes, that's how they're able to get back in this game and win this.
Well, you talk about going, to another country, playing in Mexico City, making the game international, a place that the NBA is looking at to say, hey, maybe this becomes a home destination for a team. You want to put your best foot forward. Cooper Flagg starting to figure it out for his group, the Dallas Mavericks. A close contest, a game of runs. The NBA entertains, and in Mexico City tonight, it no different for the rookie superstar, Cooper Flagg. More on the other side when we come back. It's a big week coming up. On Tuesday, we have another coast-to-coast doubleheader on NBC and Peacock. Magic take on the Hawks, and the Thunder head to L.A., take on the Clippers at the Intuit Dome. But first, right here on Peacock on Monday night, the Timberwolves. They've got the Nets, whose coach Jordy Fernandez was mic'd up at a recent practice. And on that live line for this game from DraftKings Sportsbook, Detroit, 7.5-point favorite at tip-off. Pistons trailing at the half, but still a 3.5-point favorite there. The celebration on 10s in Mexico, Dia de Muertos, the Day of the Dead. Did you guys, American holiday, did we dress up for Halloween last night? Did we?
That was on the way here. We were traveling in.
It's no excuse. You could have worn something to the airport.
I was a hot dog, if it makes you feel.
A hot dog?
Yes.
With the condiments, the ketchup and the
Yes.
Got to see a picture. Prove it.
Right from Mexico?
Yes.
All right, let's do it. Favorite Halloween costume I've worn? It's a great question.
Oh, I had a lot.
Favorite Halloween costume I've worn? Back in the day when I was a young buck, putting a sheet over my head, cutting out the holes, I was a ghost. And also last year, Inspector Gadget, Go-Go Gaffer. You feel me?
Fire Ninja.
Darth Vader.
I would say my favorite Halloween costume was probably Groot.
Candyman. Like, really good Candyman, though. I'll show you a picture.
Michael Myers.
Fire. Probably Leonardo from Ninja Turtles. It's in like 96, so 30 years ago, huh?
Favorite Halloween costume that I've worn? Ball Walker. Probably Scream. I think I was Woody one year.
Miles Morales.
Me and my brother were Michael Jackson. White gloves and everything.
That was the Incredible Hulk. I gotta show y'all a picture.
It is one of the world's great cities, Mexico City. Now look what I found for Stuart Duran with a big finish. Going to roll to the basket and an easy finish for P.J. Washington. Welcome back to our coverage of the NBA Mexico City 2025 game. Great to be with you on Peacock. I'm Mark Followell, joined by the Hall of Famer Grant Hill. And after 24 minutes, it's Dallas 61, Detroit 59. Game of runs in the second quarter. And at the end, Dallas had a 17-5 run. And the Pistons, normally a solid defensive team, had some struggles.
They did. They kind of lost some concentration, took their foot off the gas. You hear Thompson relaxes, almost grimaces there, didn't switch, and led to an open Cooper Flag three-pointer. And Dallas, somehow, some way, found the momentum and got the lead at halftime.
And look at the breakdown of Dallas knocking down 5 threes in the second quarter. They made 5 in the first as well. Meanwhile, the Pistons have thrived on shooting twos, particularly shots in the paint. It is worth pointing out, Dallas has already doubled the number of threes they made in the entire game against the Indiana Pacers on Wednesday.
Well, I mean, that's not hard to do. They only made 5 that game. Still somehow found a way to win. And also, Jalen Duren was on the bench during that Mavericks run. He's back in here starting in the third.
Only 8 points in the first half for Cade Cunningham. So not surprised to see the first play of the third quarter drawn up for Cunningham for Detroit. He missed the shot. Max Christie scores for Dallas. And let's get a report right now, that is, from Ashley Shamani.
As I talked to Detroit assistant coach Jarrett Jack, I asked him about how the Mavs were able to close out that second quarter. He said we gave him way too many threes. We need to get back to playing downhill basketball. Also asked specifically about Jalen Duren. He said, look, he is rolling to the basket, putting pressure on their defense. We're going to continue to do that this next half, but we need to do a better job on the defensive glass, and also no more back cuts for them. I also got a little update on Tobias Harris. At first they told me he was questionable to return with a sprained right ankle, but then they said he is going to return, obviously, and he's going to return as he can tolerate that right ankle, so we'll keep a lookout on it.
Well, he's tolerating here at the beginning of the third quarter as Harris is on the floor. Matter of fact, he was just called for the foul, which is his second of the game. Daniel Gafford, who is making his season debut tonight after a right ankle sprain in the not only first practice of Dallas's training camp in Vancouver, British Columbia, back at the beginning of October. Gafford debuting tonight. He led the NBA in field goal percentage 2 years ago and is on the free throw line here. Shot 72.5% from the floor in the 2023-24 season. The third highest qualifying field goal percentage in a season in NBA history.
Impressive. It's great that he is back. So important to the long-term success. They got to get Lively Davis, and at some point down the road, you'll get Kyrie Irving. It's fun to watch this Maverick team at full strength.
Thompson scored a moment ago on the spin move. He lost it out of bounds. And a turnover committed by Detroit, which is their 6th of the game. It's also a low turnover game for Dallas tonight. They only have 5.
Well, both teams high in turnovers, around 17 a game. So they are valuing the basketball, but a little sloppy on that last drive.
Tough shot by Cooper Flag, offensive rebound. Gafford just went to the line, and he's going again, this time for 1, to try and complete the old-fashioned three-point play for the big man from Arkansas, with his debut tonight, starting his 7th season in the NBA.
And Mark Gafford clearly got his second win there. I thought he was laboring a bit up and down the floor. He's moving much better here in the second half. You see it on the glass there, that three-point play opportunity, and Gafford starting to find his rhythm.
We were discussing Dallas's revived three-point shooting tonight. We talked to Jason Kidd before the game, and he pointed out their 32% number from 3 this year, and by the way, also being last in the league in three-point attempts. Obviously something, of course, that they want to correct, not just the percentage, but getting up way more threes, and they've been determined to do so tonight.
They have been. You know, this season, they've had good looks. You know, they just haven't been able to convert them, but tonight finding their groove from downtown.
1-3 off the extra pass, way off for Cooper Flag. Cunningham averaging 22 a game. Looks to pass here. And it's a 3 on the splashdown for Duncan Robinson.
And so much focus on Cunningham. Robinson's smart. Gets behind Thompson into that corner. Cade makes him pay with that beautiful pass.
Quick catch and shoot for Klay Thompson. Right back at you, 3 by Thompson to respond to the one made by Robinson. 2 tremendous shooters. Cut to the basket. Duran. It's good with a foul.
Picking up where he left off in that first half. Feasting inside in the paint with a beautiful pass there by Tobias Harris. Gafford had a tough spot. He had 2 guys. Thompson on the baseline and a beautiful cut there by Duran. Attacking the big man. And what a luxury to have a big guy who can shoot free throws. We talked about it in the first half. And keep him in the game down the stretch. Trust his ability to step up and knock him down.
There's no commentator curse. I don't believe in that. Before you say anything, G-Man.
I wasn't going to say anything.
He's 8 of 9 from the floor tonight, and that's the first miss on the line. 3 of 4 on free throws. Too strong off the glass for Flag. But again, Duran 8 of 9 on field goal attempts. Cade Cunningham to a trailer. Duran slices right through the defense to score again. Washington caught it on the move. Christie in the corner. Outlet pass after the rebound. Harris up ahead to Cunningham. Cunningham is headed to the free throw line with 8:43 to go in the third. As he goes to the line, I think this is a good chance to address our pregame conversation with J.B. Bickerstaff with regard to, he said that Cunningham, you know, he's averaging 22 a game, but the shooting percentage is low. It's around 40%. You just saw him with the assist a moment ago to Duran. And he said what he's having to adjust to is more bodies coming at him defensively. He's obviously on the radar after the season he had last year of 26 points per game, and he's still adapting to just seeing more defenders coming at him, Grant.
Yeah, and rightfully so. I mean, the year he had was sensational. He catapulted himself into being a superstar and all-star in this league, and certainly does so much for this ball club. Teams now are throwing different looks at him, and he struggled a bit. His shooting wasn't great, his decision-making, turnovers, but kind of found that groove the other night at home against Orlando, and trying to build upon that success here on the road here. Well, actually, it's a home game technically.
Technically speaking, yes.
Here in Mexico City for the Pistons.
Cunningham had 30 points and 10 assists on Wednesday. He has 11 assists tonight, but only 9 points, including missing 3 free throws tonight as it's turned over in the corner by Dallas. Russell and Washington late in the clock turned the ball over.
Cunningham playing some good defense there as well. That's an area where he wanted to improve upon being an impact player on the defensive side. And we see that with the blocks this year as a guard, getting quite a few.
He is 23rd in the league, 1.2 blocks per game this year. Duran in the paint, Cunningham looking for a double-double, and he's got one. Three-pointer is on the money, Grant.
Yeah, and paint touches leading to open threes. I'd like to see Cunningham more off the ball. The ball in his hand so much, high usage rate. Catching the ball with a live dribble, I think he can be dangerous.
Detroit regains the lead. Russell, shot clock winding down, and he connects. A swap of threes between the guards. Cunningham for Detroit, then Russell for Dallas.
We talked about Dallas's offensive struggles, particularly at the three-point line, but they are efficient tonight.
As a matter of fact, Dallas has tied their season high in made threes with 12. They had 12 in a loss earlier this week against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Klay Thompson has 3 tonight. Thompson has only made 7 all season. LeVert inside again. That is cash money every time when the ball finds Jalen Duran in the paint. Pass down the baseline by Russell. Cooper with the drive, draws a lot of attention. Russell just hit a 3 on the left side a moment ago. Now he puts it down and draws a foul. At 5 minutes deep into the third quarter is on the strike.
With this small ball lineup, as you see the beautiful drive and pass there. What I love about the Pistons, they all look for Duran. It's not just Cade Cunningham, but they know he's going to roll to the rim. He's got soft hands. Great finisher. On that play, Levert, great delivery. Inside is J.B. Bickerstaff. Clearly was not happy with the way they ended the half there, those last 2-3 minutes. Has to be pleased with the performance to start the third.
It was a 17-5 Dallas run to close the first half after Detroit had a 21-2 run in the middle window of the second quarter.
Really, all of it was in the paint. That first half, 38 of the Detroit Pistons points, 38 of the 59 points were in the paint.
All eyes on Cunningham. Cade's pass to the corner to Karis LeVert. LeVert against Najee Marshall. Shot clock evaporating, got it up in time, but it's no good. Ball's out of bounds, off Duren and the Pistons.
And give credit, Najee Marshall taking the challenge defensively. Well done.
There's a dead ball and a timeout on the floor. Dallas with 6:33 left in the third quarter. They lead fives in the arena here. Let's go to Ashley Shabadi. Ashley.
Guys, there is just so much excitement in this building with these fans. I am loving being around all the action. It's been fun seeing all the different jerseys in the building. There's obviously a lot of Mavs and Pistons. We heard that standing ovation, the loudest cheer for Klay Thompson during those intros. But I've seen Giannis Antetokounmpo jerseys, LeBron. We've seen Luka and his Lakers jerseys, some Miami Heat ones. And pulling up to the arena, we saw a throwback Michael Jordan North Carolina jersey as well. So there are a ton of basketball fans here. And it is just fun to really see how diverse their viewership is.
I would agree with that. And by the way, speaking of throwbacks that we saw outside the arena, not only did we see a Jordan throwback jersey and all of the jerseys in the arena that Ashley has mentioned, but a teal 90s Pistons 33 Grant Hill jersey was available for purchase outside the arena tonight as well. Here's Christie looking to beat the shot clock, and deep in the clock, a foul is called that will send him to the stripe. By the way, Russell has the last 7 points for Dallas, but that can stop right now with Max Christie shooting 2 free throws and Dallas in front by 4. And that jersey that we saw outside was sweet. That was nice.
Yeah, I thought maybe you or Ashley paid somebody to display that as we arrived here at the arena. But no, to both your points, it's fun to see. And just the excitement, the jerseys, the love for the NBA here in Mexico City. And outside, it was wild. It was really a sight to see.
Grant, I think one of the things that really demonstrates the love of basketball and what this game brings to the table in terms of energy and interest tonight in Liga MX and soccer here in Mexico and football here in Mexico. America here in Mexico City is playing a home game. I mean, that is the most popular club team in Mexico. Robinson curls to the basket and scores. It's the team that either everyone loves or they hate, Club America. They're playing as we speak here in Mexico City against León, which is a very big game as they're late in the Apertura of the Liga MX season. Both of those teams are right at the top of the table, near the top of the table anyway, in Liga MX, and you have a sellout crowd here. There's going to be great TV numbers for this game in Mexico tonight. Earlier, there was a Clásico Regio. Monterrey and Tigres were playing. That ended in a 1-1 draw, but people are still locked in on NBA basketball tonight.
They really are. It's impressive, and you don't get the NBA here often. So they're taking advantage of seeing these two teams up close and personal. And you're right, not ideal in terms of competition. You know, these games and other matchups, as you mentioned, but they are here to take it. And it's a sold-out.
Yes, it is. Over 20,000 in attendance tonight.
A massive arena.
Arena Ciudad de Mexico. Steal, Kate Cunningham. Max Christie left his feet. 2-on-1 developing. Big finish, Asar Thompson from Cunningham.
We saw a lot of that last season. Detroit forcing turnovers, which lead to easy transition opportunities.
And Thompson, obviously a great floor runner, and gets a lot of opportunities like that. Around the defense, Najee Marshall pull up. And good touch. Elite float game has been on display in his time with the Mavericks since joining after 4 seasons with the Pelicans.
And Marshall was determined on that play. Good thing he did do a float game because Duren was coming from the weak side.
And now here's Duren inside. Easy flush. It's 25, a season high tonight for Jalen Duren. Had 24 Sunday in a big comeback against the Celtics.
Just continue to see his development over the years. Duren playing well here in this third quarter.
Asar Thompson chasing Russell around a screen. Corner 3, Washington doesn't get the bounce, and Detroit can seesaw back in front. The narrowest of leads right now for the Dallas Mavericks with 3.5 to play in the third quarter. Cunningham is fouled. Cunningham is 1 of 4, missed his first 3 free throw attempts tonight. Salvaged a split on a trip to the line earlier in the third quarter.
And I like that play right there. I mean, also, Thompson had it, swung it to the second side, and now Cunningham has his live dribble. It was very decisive, was a decision there to get into the paint. And obviously that threat of throwing the lob to Jalen Duren, all Dallas could do in that case is foul. But I like Cunningham some off the ball to have those opportunities to create with a live dribble.
Of course, Cooper Flagg went to Montford Academy, so did Cade Cunningham, but Cade Cunningham is from the Dallas-Fort Worth area. He's from Arlington, the 3rd largest city in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Interesting, though, that injuries prevented him from ever playing back home with Detroit until last year. Last year was the first time in Cade's 4th season in the NBA that he played a game in Dallas at American Airlines Center. On the road last year, when Dallas played at Detroit, Cunningham had a 40-burger against the Mavericks and a big win for Detroit last season.
And that's a thing we forget. I mean, he struggled early on, first maybe 3 years, dealing with some injuries, missed a significant amount of time, but was healthy last year and helped triple the amount of wins for the Pistons from the year before to last season.
There was a technical foul assessed on Isaiah Stewart. Cunningham made his 2 freebies, but the game is back on level terms at 82 after the technical foul on Stewart leads to a free throw for D'Angelo Russell, who leads all bench players in this game. And as a matter of fact, is Dallas's leading scorer overall with 17 points.
And it'll be interesting now. Cunningham and Duren on the bench here. Can they continue offensively to be efficient with those 2 out of the game? Remains to be seen.
Russell probing. Teardrop by Russell. Nice bounce.
And he is going to be too important for this team. He's going to have to be aggressive and consistent this season, particularly until Kyrie Irving gets back at some point.
Very short on a 3 for Asar Thompson. D'Lo has his 2nd highest scoring game of the season tonight, now sitting on 19 points. Russell's the screener. Marshall a bounce pass. Gafford screens. Filling a vacated area is Marshall. Holland trying to keep him out of the paint. And he ends up forcing the turnover. Holland 2 steals a game. Excellent on-ball defense and leads to a Karis LeVert 3 that rattled out and then back home. Ninth lead change of the game. Detroit in front by 1. Upstairs, a rim rocker. Daniel Gafford. A golazo for Gafford as he catches the alley-oop and finishes.
Well, I'll tell you, he made him work for it. He got up there, though. Clearly, Gafford feeling good.
Now a mini pull-up is no good. On for LeVert. And a timeout is called by Dallas. Mavericks lead by 1 with 1:51 left in the third quarter. Tonight's Peacock exclusive coverage presented by Xfinity in front of the great fans here in Mexico City. Every Monday night, it's Peacock NBA Monday. This week, Timberwolves versus Nets, streaming live on Peacock. We're in Mexico City tonight for Mavs Pistons. Jalen Duren has 25 points tonight. He's already scored 20+ in half the games he's played this year. His career best season of 20-point games was 2023-24 when he had 11. More on that in a moment as Williams drives for Dallas and is fouled. What I think is interesting about the 20-point game number, not only, Grant, is it obviously a sign of Jalen Duren's expanding offensive game, trust factor that his teammates have, but it usually spells success. The Pistons have won 13 of the last 14 games when Jalen Duren scored 20 or more.
Well, they need to continue to establish him down low in the post, and it speaks to his improvement and development as a young player, but also You know, Jalen Duren last year, I thought the one criticism, he was prone to foul a lot. I think he had the second most fouls in the NBA behind Jaren Jackson Jr. So in foul trouble a lot, limited his minutes. And this season doing a better job staying out of foul trouble so he can be effective on both ends, and particularly offensively.
Split on the free throw line there for Brandon Williams. And I think a tip of the cap to Duren in that regard tonight. He picked up 2 fouls in the first quarter. Only one since, and Grant, you know this, you experienced this. Early foul trouble can disrupt your offensive rhythm, but there's been no disruption whatsoever for his rhythm tonight.
He's looked great.
10 points in the third quarter for D'Angelo Russell. Gave the ball up to Cooper Flagg. Now Russell hoisting and hitting. String music for D'Angelo Russell. That's his 4th 3 of the game. Last minute of the third. Dallas is 3 to the good in the third quarter. Detroit trying to respond to the Russell 3, and it's a hard drive downhill, and Holland follows in his own miss.
Yeah, great contest there by Gafford on the initial drive, but also great on Holland's part not to quit on the play. We talked earlier, his energy and activity certainly making Bickerstaff happy.
Over 11 points per game this year. Those are his first 2 points tonight as the mid-range J is on the money for Cooper Flagg.
Cooper was able to shake free from Thompson there. Beautiful dribble handoff screen from Gafford, leading to that open opportunity.
About 13.5 a game this year for Cooper. He has a dozen tonight. One of 4 Mavericks in double figures. Pistons have 5 in double figures. All of the starters. No one will have a chance to add to their scoring number here with the throwaway with 10 seconds left. No foul to give. Holland, aggressive defense and a foul with 4 seconds.
And I thought Holland fouled him a few times on that possession. A lot of use of the arms and hands there, and understandably so, trying to keep Williams in front of you, but letting them play a little bit there.
I love the implementation as a roster building tool in the NBA since 2017 of the 2-way contract. Duncan Robinson, by the way, that we see for the Detroit Pistons, he's going back in the game right now on cue. He's been one of the very best in terms of building a long-term career after starting out on a 2-way contract. That's what Brandon Williams is trying to do. Williams was on a 2-way contract 2 years ago and last season with Dallas, but late last year converted in the final week of the season to a standard deal, and now really trying to establish. And after averaging 29 points a game, he cooked the G League last year, so he proved he was ready to be a full-time NBA player.
And it's just a wonderful example, as you're saying, how that works. A 2-way player and getting the opportunity, gaining the trust of this Mavericks organization, and now an important piece to this team this season, particularly with all the injuries.
They averaged 15 a game in the last 13 games last season. From half court, Kate Cunningham gave it a go, but just off target. We've got 12 minutes left in Mexico City. It's been a fun one tonight. 93-87, Dallas in front by.
And welcome back to Mexico City. This game has been about D'Angelo Russell being efficient and effective from downtown. Came into the game 18% from the three-point line, but finding his rhythm and stroke. 4 of 8 for the game, scored 13 points in that third quarter. D'Angelo Russell, as you can see, only 4 for 22 in the first 5 games from the three-point line, but Mexico City has been good to D'Lo.
Yes, it has been. And of course, water's usually going to find its level. Obviously, it's a small sample size, but D'Lo, a 36.5% career three-point shooter, has lifted the number tonight. Nice defensive play made by Javonte Green. Jumped the route, steal, slam, dunk.
And
big basket to start the fourth.
Big time play there. Certainly as a coach, frustrates you. You diagram something out of a timeout. You come out, you don't execute, lead to a turnover and easy two.
Inside, Cooper Flagg. Javonte Green makes his presence felt again. from behind, blocks it out of bounds, leaving Dallas with 9 to shoot.
You saw his presence right there, just jumping the screen, hand in the passing lane. And that's how Javonte is earning minutes on the court. Good block from behind. Turning up the screws on defense as Robinson almost forced a turnover.
Loose ball, has to put it up to beat the shot clock from long range. Off target and out of bounds for Cooper.
That almost went in. Great awareness of the shot clock there. Cooper playing well. The physicality tonight, the officials letting them play. This works to Detroit's favor, particularly on Flagg, who's, as Jason Kidd said, he's seeing all of this for the first time. And certainly this Piston team, the way they play, they make it tough.
Cunningham against Washington. A drive inside, nice lead for Stewart, and he scores. Let's get more on Cooper Flagg right now from Ashley Shamedy. Ashley.
Yeah, guys, I asked Coach Kidd, what's been the most surprising thing about coaching Cooper? He said it's 100% his calmness. Nothing rattles this guy. He said he's not sure if it's because we were standing right there with Grant, but he also mentioned that some of Cooper's tendencies remind him of you, Grant Hill, so just about how you went about your work, but impressive.
That looked like that was about to be an alley-oop finish for Harris. P.J. Washington broke up the play. Caleb Martin too long on a 3 at the other end of the floor, and the ball is out of bounds.
Yeah, a lot of action there on that play, but getting back to Ashley's point, Cooper, to be so young, the expectations so high, and you know, obviously learning as he's going. Alley-oop pass, but what a block and hustle by P.J. Washington. His maturity and composure, Cooper Flagg, will serve him well as he continues to figure things out.
Operating as the ball handler in the screen and roll was Klay Thompson. Scoop to the hoop is missed by P.J. Washington. He just had his 3rd block of the game for the Mavericks a moment ago.
That was an impressive block right there. Not quitting on the play at all.
A timeout is called with just over 2 minutes played here in the 4th quarter. Dallas has not scored in the 4th. Detroit making up some ground. It's a 2-point contest as we head in. Let's jump in the Wayback Machine. Look at these pictures of Cade Cunningham playing in Arlington, Texas, and Cooper Flagg in Maine. And then they both moved on to play high school basketball at the outstanding Montford Academy, where they both were Naismith Prep Players of the Year as seniors in high school, one-and-done players at Oklahoma State and Duke, respectively, and #1 overall draft picks 4 years apart, 2021 and 2025. Cade Cunningham already has learned this in the NBA, and Cooper Flagg, this is in his DNA too. How can you help the team even when you aren't scoring a big number as you compare their numbers tonight?
Well, Cooper Flagg has learned that, and that's in his DNA, much like Cade Cunningham. Your shot's not falling. How do you still contribute as Duncan Robinson knocks down another 3-pointer? But how do you still find or provide value and contribute to your team's success, even when your shot's not falling? Now, you have to have the skill set to do those things, and both of these guys do.
Duncan Robinson's shot fell a moment ago. To open the 4th quarter, Detroit has scored 7 straight points. They retake the lead. Flagg looking for the assist, and he's got one as Russell stops the bleeding for Dallas and has ascended to a season-high 25 points.
And nice there, Cooper Flagg in the post, taking his time, got double-teamed, and found the hot hand from D'Lo.
Cunningham, by the way, 15 assists. He's had a hand in 51 points tonight between scoring and assist. Lost ball, Javonte Green. Pull-up 3, okay. D'Lo. As you said, Mexico City is treating D'Angelo Russell the right way. Underneath, Stewart with a foul. A big ladle full of beef stew inside as the Pistons, Isaiah Stewart scores the basket and draws the foul.
Wow, well, you're talking about D'Angelo Russell here. This was a heat check. He says, hey, I went to Mount Verde too. Don't forget about me. I played with Ben Simmons at Mount Verde. I won a national championship there. But D'Lo, man, picked the right time to get hot. And what I love is the awareness from his team. They recognize he struggled. He's hitting his shots now, and they're feeding him.
2-point game after the 3-point play for Isaiah Stewart. Russell, after he was at Montverde Academy, was a one-and-done at Ohio State, first-team All-American. And then the second pick behind Karl Anthony Towns in 2015. And here's Washington inside, and Washington does not get the kind roll. He's had a couple of shots like that in the fourth quarter. Sar Thompson's behind the play. Detroit only 4 on offense right now. Now Thompson's joined in. Cunningham leaning into a 3 on target. Caleb Martin rebound.
Not sure if
Alex at the rim. Big time rejection. Stewart. Open 3. Javonte Green. Seesawing back in front. The Pistons as we go into the last 8. 7-year vet from Radford with a big play, and then a lost ball. Developing fast break. Thompson from Robinson. A foul was just called. Will this be a transition take foul, perhaps? Let's see here.
And goes right at Stewart. And Stewart, once again, showing why he is a professional shot blocker there. Great timing, great strength.
The 24-year-old from Rochester, New York, is averaging 2 block shots per game and doing that in 21 minutes per game. There is going to be a review. I wonder if this is maybe clear path foul is what the review potential is here. Jonathan Sterling is in a truck on site here in Mexico City to be the replay official tonight. The crew, as we noted earlier, James Capers, Dedrick Taylor, and Brandon Adair. And a review here with 7:42 remaining in the game. Detroit up by 1. This is the play involving Robinson and Asar Thompson.
Looked like, couldn't quite tell from that angle. This may give us a better. Was Asar Thompson out ahead there?
Yeah, I think they're looking clear. They've got to be looking clear path foul at this
Clear
point.
path, no question. Just like that, 2-3 possessions in a row. A Stewart block on that dunk attempt by Martin, and then a turnover.
James Capers is patiently waiting for the microphone to be turned on.
The help defender, D'Angelo Russell, was ahead of the play when the foul was committed. Therefore, we do not have a clear path foul. It will be side out for Detroit. We do have a personal foul on the play.
It is not a clear path foul because of Russell's proximity side by side with Asar Thompson.
Yeah, they got that right there. And if Russell had, if Asar Thompson had been out ahead, then a definite clear path foul. So a break here for Dallas, but certainly for them, they're going to have to clean up some things on the offensive end. Those live ball turnovers are so hard to defend against in transition.
Daniel Gafford has returned. High teens in minutes was the expectation for him in his debut of the season tonight. Played 14 so far. Nice spin move. Stewart from Thompson. Got Gafford off his feet, draws a foul. Daniel Gafford's 4th foul tonight. 7 points in his first game of the season. Stewart for his career is 73% on freebies. Just 5 of 10 this year going into play tonight. And he's stayed with that 50% thing as he's 1 and 2 on his free throws in this game. Chance to push the lead to 2 or 3 points here on the line with 7:32 remaining. Looking at the upcoming national TV schedule, Minnesota at Brooklyn, Peacock Monday coming up at 7 o'clock Eastern. Later on that night on NBA TV, it's the Lakers at Portland. And then you've got on Tuesday, Peacock NBC coverage of Orlando and Atlanta and Oklahoma City at the Clippers. And then a doubleheader on ESPN on Wednesday, Minnesota at the Knicks and the Spurs at the Lakers. What a start to the year for the San Antonio Spurs. 50% again for Stewart on the line. One of the 3 losses for the Mavericks this year was against San Antonio as Williams adjusts. And goes down hard. Big foul from Stewart. He paid the price for going down in the paint against Stewart.
He did. I'm not laughing because he paid the price. I'm laughing that Williams said, I'm not going to go over him. I'm going to go around him. He tried to scoop with his left hand. Smart play. Show the ball, go around the arms. Make sure you draw the foul. I like Williams right after shot block.
11th point of the game for Brandon Williams, who had 20 in his first really extended minutes of the season. He's missed a couple of games due to personal reasons. Only played 19 minutes in the first 2 games, then scored 20 points on Wednesday, 11 tonight. 5 Mavs in double figures, 6 Pistons in double figures.
Now I played with a guy in Phoenix, Leandro Barbosa.
Oh, yes.
And not
from Brazil.
From Brazil. Not the same kind of player, but has a burst. As we see now, Thompson running the point is caved out of the game, and Dallas falling back into this 2-3 zone.
They put Tobias Harris in the middle of the zone, and he squares up for a free throw line jumper and missed it. Game tied after the Williams free throws. And going on the deck, and Holland forcing a jump ball. That is the activity defensively that Ronald Holland brings to the table.
And Holland and Thompson both have had moments guarding Brandon Williams. They both are taller, they're long, they're athletic, they have good foot speed. And right now in that play, Holland takes the challenge, slides his feet, and forces Williams into an almost turnover. Now it'll be a jump ball.
With exactly 7 minutes left in the game. Jump ball controlled by Detroit. Went into the hands of Jalen Duren, who has 25 points tonight. And they'll flash Harris into the middle of the Dallas zone defense.
That's the sweet spot against that zone.
Looking to create off the dribble. Nicely done by Thompson.
And that's how you attack a zone. You know, a lot of times people stay on the perimeter. You penetrate the zone with a pass or dribble penetration. Thompson right there did a great job.
Now the line ball turnover. It's a 3-on-1, and Thompson missed, but it's Duren with the easy putback. 27 in the game now. The Pistons have outscored Dallas by 10 here in the fourth quarter and lead the game by 4. Tuesday, November 4th. So visit NBA.com/elections to check out your local elections information. Get in the game, votes. Ashley Shabadi was just looking in on the Detroit huddle. More from Ashley with 6:26 left in the game.
Yeah, Mark, just watching the Pistons during that last time out, there is so much energy with this young group. All the guys talking to one another, cheering each other on. JB Bickerstaff says his spiel, but then the guys really coach each other. We asked Coach Bickerstaff about the perks of maybe coaching such a young team. He said they are so thirsty for more. They just did everything we asked of them last year. They listened, they're sponges, and they really saw the growth and success from last year. It has helped them to know and understand what needs to be done this year, but he said it is just the spirit that they carry with them every single day.
Well, what a season it was last year, and a chance for a 4-2 start if they can finish off what they've done in the first half of the fourth quarter, Grant, which was 18-8 prior to that Max Christie straight line drive and basket.
Yeah, no, well, I love what Ashley said there. And certainly going through 2 years ago, losing all those games, you know, it kept that group together. And instead of fracturing and splintering, this team was all in last year. As Green misses a wide open three-pointer, shows the character of that young locker room in Detroit.
JB Bickerstaff has had success as a head coach in this league. Good run in Memphis, good run in Cleveland, of course. Second in Coach of the Year voting. As a matter of fact, JB Bickerstaff has been top 5 in Coach of the Year voting in 3 of the last 4 years.
He's a guy that changes cultures, and we saw that what he did in Cleveland, and come here to Detroit, raised the level of expectation, got this team, this organization, this city excited again, and certainly Cade Cunningham, their superstar, back in the game, leading the way.
Well, here's a fourth quarter story for you developing right now, Grant. Dallas had 8 turnovers in the first 3 quarters. They've already had 6 in the fourth quarter, and that's fueled Detroit retaking the lead Empty possession there for the Pistons as we hit 5 minutes to play. Gafford, dribble handoff with Christie. Christie just had a drive to the basket to score a moment ago. Russell, top scorer for the Mavs. Adds 3 more to his total, and Dallas retakes the advantage. 31 tonight now for D'Lo. A high number on the board for D'Lo tonight in Mexico City.
What a shooting performance.
Thompson draws in the defense. Holland underhands it outside. Harris, no. And they're trying to put a body on Jalen Duren, Dallas was, but the foul's not on the Mavericks. The foul's on the Pistons. It's on JD.
Yeah, good block out there. Great awareness here on this play from Christie. Finding Russell off balance doesn't matter. Everything he's throwing up is going in. And conversely, on the other end, right now, Duncan Robinson back in the game. They're going to need shooters against this zone of Dallas. Holland and Thompson out there, they aren't guarding.
Russell. And that almost got stuck like Plinko behind the backboard in the shot clock, but falls out of bounds on the miss by Russell. Heat check moment. He is 7 of 12 now from downtown. Overall, 10 out of 16.
I used to like that game back in the day.
That was fun, man.
Yeah. I was an only child. So, you know,
if they had called me, if I'd got to be as part of that, I think I could have done well against Plinko, or in Plinko. Don't start thinking about the remember the cliffhanger game. Don't start thinking about that because the music that they had that'll be your earworm for the night if you start thinking about the cliffhanger game.
That is too funny. I'll tell you, Cade Cunningham gets in the game right away, downhill, gets in the paint. And it's interesting tonight. Detroit 64 points in the paint. Dallas only 24. Detroit not shooting well from 3, but certainly making their presence felt inside in the paint and, of course, at the free throw line as well.
Well, Grant, Detroit looking to stick with the script. They've been great this year in the paint. Take the most paint shots of anyone in the NBA, and they're trying to get down in there again. As Dallas, of course, trying to change their DNA. They wanted more threes tonight, and they have shot 40 threes out of 75 total shot attempts.
And that's how they're going to have to play, particularly with Anthony Davis out. Play fast, move the ball, drive and kick, just like that. P.J. Washington just happened to miss, but play quick, play unselfish, play strong.
16 points, 16 assists for Cade Cunningham. Just hit go-ahead free throws, leaves that short, but there was a lot of standing and ball watching on the Mavs side of the equation, and Duren grabs the rebound and is fouled.
And you're right, a lot of standing and watching. You can't assume that somebody is going to get the rebound there. The ball bounced on the floor. No one there. Duren able to capitalize and get fouled at the free throw line.
27 and counting for Duren. .345 left, and Detroit nudges in front by 2. Tonight is the 5th career game for Cade Cunningham of at least 15 points and 15 assists, tied for 4th most in Pistons history, by far led by Isaiah Thomas in that department. 78 of those games. Kevin Porter and Dave Bing, if you want to go way back, are your top 3 in that category. At least 15 points and 15 dimes in a game. Headed to the basket, Max Christie. And stepping out of bounds on the catch in the corner, P.J. Washington.
And that's been the Achilles heel tonight for Dallas, the turnovers. Actually, when they actually don't turn the ball over, they're actually playing well, getting high percentage shots. Too many turnovers and too many turnovers here in this 4th quarter.
7, as a matter of fact, in the 4th quarter. It's allowed Detroit to erase a 6-point deficit at the start of the quarter. Pocket pass to Duren! Way upstairs for the forceful finish. Jalen Duren has matched D'Angelo Russell. Both players with 31 on the board tonight. Career high for JD. Spin move, baseline drive, flag, he's fouled. And with 3:01 left in the game, Cooper Flagg looks to make this a one-shot lead for Detroit.
And I like that. Cooper very decisive on that drive. And speaking of decisive, beautiful pocket pass. You know what's impressive with Durant, like he has great hands. Reminds me a little bit, even on this play, of Amari Stoudemire. He and Nash on that pick and roll, and the hands to catch and gather. And then on the other end, Cooper's smart. You see the shot blocker coming over, go into his body and force the officials to make the call.
Well, here's a red flag going up right now with 3:01 left. Jalen Duren has 5 fouls. So how much will that hinder his defense down the stretch? His offense has been clearly immensely impactful in this game, but now he's going to have to play defense and obviously be careful setting screens as well, Grant, with 5 fouls.
Well, and if you're Dallas, spread the floor. You got this small lineup. You want to try to get down the paint, attack the rim, and draw another foul on Durant.
Cooper has started his NBA career 19 of 19 on free throws, including 6 of 6 tonight. Runner Cunningham using the glass.
He likes to get to that right hand. Just has an array of moves, floaters, push shots, all type of finishes there at the rim.
Oh, not a three-point shooting foul. Foul is on the floor for Detroit, their 4th team foul of the quarter with 2:37 to go.
I mean, the way Russell has been shooting, I might have given him that, but here, look at Cunningham in traffic, over the outstretched hands of Washington. Just a great touch inside there. Great finish.
Asar Thompson denying Cooper Flagg, so he walks in the back door and will head to the free throw line again.
And a smart read right there. Detroit switching the action between Cooper Flagg and Christie. And they overplayed Flagg on that play, and he just, presence of mind, go back door. Washington made the right read, and Cooper once again maybe struggling from the field and getting to the free throw line.
The NCAA Player of the Year, winning 5 of the 6 major college basketball Player of the Year awards last season.
I thought it was unanimous.
5 of the 6. Janai Broome at Auburn got 1 of the 6.
Well, you know, Cooper and I, we went to the same school.
Yes, I think you guys, you guys have a little bit of a thing going.
I just had to throw that out there.
By the way, speaking of your past Duke performance, the 8 steals we were talking about, the Duke Cal game from the tournament, you played J-Kidd, that tied the NCAA tournament steals record.
Oh, wow. The only good thing that came out of that night.
I needed to pump you up a little bit.
I appreciate it.
Robinson under the defense, and he looks for that Cade Cunningham-like little runner, and the kiss off the glass restores the 2-possession lead for Detroit.
Okay, Duncan.
They double the ball. Russell in the paint. Washington. On the lefty dribble, Cooper Flagg the pass. Straight on 3, missed. Under 2 minutes to go. Dallas with an empty possession, and now Detroit the ball in up 5.
And Detroit here to end games. That high screen and roll, Cade Cunningham and Durant, so effective.
Thompson freezes the defense with a little pass fake and the lefty layup.
Great awareness, Cunningham being double teamed, finding Thompson there at the free throw line and putting Washington in a tough spot, having to guard both Thompson and Durant, possibly on the alley-oop attempt. Great decision-making and finish. Asar Thompson.
Asar Thompson now 15 points in this game. A little early to be taking too much from individual player trends in relation to team success, but Detroit has won the 3 times this year that Thompson scored 12 or more. Their 2 losses have been when he scored less than at 12 points, and Asar Thompson is on 15. And right now, Detroit's up 7. You know, one of the things they're trying to do, Grant, is avenge losing to the Mavericks here in Mexico City. These 2 teams played here in December of 2019. And we're talking 15 regular season games all time in Mexico City. The Mavericks played the first one at the old Palacio de los Deportes, which was built for the '68 Olympics in Mexico City. Houston beat Dallas in that game in 1997. The other games, the 14 of them, have been played over the course of the last 10 years here at Arena Ciudad de Mexico, including Dallas and Detroit in 2019. There have been more international NBA games in Mexico than any other. But later this year, by the way, there will be games in Berlin for the first time and London again later on this season.
Well, we've seen that historically, the global games in the preseason.
Right.
But now we're seeing it in season, so much fun. And I played in a game here in Mexico City 30 years ago with the Pistons exhibition game.
Inside flag, tough pass, and it's an air ball 3. Marshall out of the corner, and they are in the bell lap now. Detroit up 7.
And you wonder, Gafford's been on the bench here most of this fourth quarter. You wonder if he surpassed his minutes restriction, because he would be very helpful defensively here for the Mavs if he could play.
Harris inside, no good. Offensive rebound, Jalen Duren dug it out and is fouled on the way back up.
Duren is just a people mover inside. He's just clearing out space. On the glass, high rebound rate, great hands, just gaining confidence. Emerging as a featured player here for Detroit.
At 15 points a game he was averaging going into the night, obviously is going to take a healthy jump, adding to his career best scoring night, now at 32 points and 1 more free throw. There's a path for Jason Kidd's team. Not a very wide path at this point, but down 8, 1:10 to go. What needs to happen?
Well, they're going to have to try to get some quick opportunities, some threes as you see Klay Thompson come into the game, speed the game up, press after a make. You know, anything can happen, particularly with 1:10 left. They're going to have to score quickly and try to create some turnovers or to play the foul game.
Here's Russell. Now Thompson. Russell, the hottest hand tonight. Inside the last minute, Klay Thompson, no good on the three-pointer. Upstairs, Javonte Green. He's played quite a few minutes here in the fourth quarter and grabbed that defensive board.
And has played well. Good defense, hit a couple shots, bringing some toughness.
Detroit's 6th man is the clock right now, up 9, milking the clock. 40 seconds left in the game. Cunningham, low clock, three-pointer. Putting the finishing touches on what will be Detroit's 4th win of the season. Deep 3 from near the logo, no good for Russell. And Javonte Green grabs another rebound, and Detroit will walk it up. They lost by 11 to the Mavericks in Mexico City 6 years ago, and they're up by 12 in the waning seconds.
Yeah, gutsy performance here, particularly in the second half for Detroit. Struggled at the end of the first half, but the defense forcing turnovers, points in the paint, winning basketball down the stretch for the Pistons.
It is going to be one heck of a double-double tonight for Cade Cunningham. 21 points and 18 rebounds tonight. Also 6 boards in this game as well. He's the first player in the NBA to hit all 3 of those numbers. 21 points, 6 boards, 18 assists tonight. And it is over in Mexico City. Another successful trip to the NBA to play in Mexico City. And the team that walks off the floor with the win tonight, Detroit, 4-2 on the year. Dallas drops to 2-4.
Well, fun times here in Mexico City. Both teams played hard. Both teams played well. Just not enough at the end for Dallas. Detroit making all the right plays. And a career night for Mr. Jalen Duren for Detroit.
Cade Cunningham played a lot of really good defense with 3 steals and 3 blocks the other night against Orlando. But a huge game dropping dimes tonight with 18 assists to go along with 21 points. And so Ashley Shabadi is with Cade Cunningham right now.
All right, Cade, you guys gave these fans here quite the show. Over a dozen lead changes. What did it take to put it away in the final couple minutes here?
Took a lot of toughness. Altitude, you know, it's a tiring game, hard-fought game. Both teams really competed. So we had to stick together and tough it out.
Tied your career high in assists tonight with 18. Most of the time finding your guy, Jalen Duren. Yeah, you didn't know that, huh?
I didn't know that.
What was it like being able to just find him and the impact he was able to make down low?
I mean, he's such a beast. He makes me look good. You know, he makes my job easy. I always say running the break with JD and Saul Thompson is the easiest job in the world. So, all glory to God for, allowing us to be here and compete on the highest stage like this. But I'm thankful for my teammates for sure.
I mean, how much trust do you put in your teammates when the defense puts so much pressure on you and your ability to score?
Yeah, I welcome it. I welcome defenses, bringing extra bodies for me because it opens up the game for my teammates and they make plays out of it. So I think it's a good offense for us, and I'm going to continue to try to sharpen my game for them.
And last question for you, Kay. Just being able to play here in Mexico City with these fans, this atmosphere, what's it been like for you?
It's been amazing. It's been one of probably the coolest basketball experience I've ever had. Being able to travel here, I probably never would have came here if it wasn't for basketball. So I'm thankful. I appreciate all the fans coming out. We had a great time.
Hey, thank you so much. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Guys.
Final score tonight, Detroit 122, Dallas 110. Thanks for watching tonight's Peacock exclusive coverage presented by Xfinity from Mexico City. Peacock's coverage of the NBA continues Monday. Back to the bench in Brooklyn with the Nets take on the Timberwolves. Coverage starts with NBA Showtime at 6:30 Eastern. For Grant Hill, Ashley Shabani, and the whole crew, I'm Mark Followell saying, see you next time.
Max wanted music.